One more time, but my name is Luke McQueen, otherwise known as Nomadic Gaijin, and I have been in Japan for over 18 years. I've had lots of experiences, and I'm excited to share them with you today. So let's go. Without any further ado, hit me with questions. And remember, while I'm answering one, I'll go back through chat and try to find them. But if I miss your question, just keep posting it. I will, especially when I'm asking, and we'll do our best. So let's get started. Intro, take 3. Do you ever do IRL streams around Japan? If so, which data company do you recommend? Sure, I actually use 3 sims. I use Docomo, 2 Docomos and a Rakuten to stream with a stream bag and I do IRL primarily. Streams like this are the rarity compared. I often finish my streams with studio, but I do mostly travel, 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. A lot of biking, a lot of driving, a lot of walking. Get out of here, Bird Baines. I can't answer math questions. This is a Japan questions section, all right? Okay. Is it legal to smoke weed in Japan? Was my most common question I got on Reddit streams. And the answer is no. Even a little bit can get you arrested. And actually, it used to be illegal to possess, but not if it was in your system. But I do believe that now it's actually illegal for both. But don't quote me on that. I think that they changed it recently. Yeah, you don't have to worry. Yeah. Oh, thank you guys. So 18 years, are you planning to get permanent residency, stay forever? So I became a permanent resident 8 years ago when I was here for 10 years. So I have had permanent residency for a long time. It's really great. How did you get into content creation in Japan? I'm trying to make a switch right now. I will tell you quite honestly, what I tell many, many people who want to try. If you do, I'll be happy to give you any advice and help you and answer questions, because I really do think people should try it. Doing IRL is a wonderful thing, but it's not for most. The amount of money that you'll put into it, the amount of effort and time to grow little by little is insane. I've been streaming for 4 years and I still have a very small channel. So I would say that it also depends on what your motivations are. But I can answer that in more detail on a different stream or offline, because I'm going to focus this more on living in Japan, specifically like for people who are interested in living in Japan or live here and want some guidance and that kind of thing. But I would love to go more into that as well. Cebu Dome on the edge of Saitama. I'm not sure if I have. Maybe outside, but definitely not in. Where in Japan have you not yet been but would really like to go? The only place I haven't been is Hokkaido, and I would like to go. I'm going to go soon. I'm going to drive there. It's going to be great. Looking forward to it. Guar, hey, what's up? What's up? Hey, buddy, how you doing? Yes, okay. But I mean, the IRL question, it's a very, very great question. Just for today's topic, I want to stick with a different, because I would love to do a whole AMA about streaming in Japan and live streaming. I would 100% love to do that. Small by your standard, but your big channel relative to a lot of channels on both platforms. You say that, I know you say that, but like, since so many of my friends are massive streamers and YouTubers and stuff, I have a different metric of comparison. I always feel like I'm the smallest streamer here, but I know that's not true, but it always feels that way. What do you think about Ash leaving Pokemon? I have no idea. Sorry, I wish I could answer that, but I don't really know. Living in Japan question, but best way in your opinion to learn Japanese? So I haven't studied Japanese. It's a good question, and that's totally fine. I haven't studied Japanese in years, but it depends on what your goal is with Japanese. Mine was to pass the JLPT level 2 at that time, because I wanted to have it for my resume so that I could apply for better jobs. If you want to learn listening, I feel like actually watching shows and TV does help with that. Shows and TV, shows and anime, movies, things like that, listening to music. But speaking with someone directly is a really good way to learn how to use, because that's my weakness, is speaking, how to speak and to listen. Best and cheapest place to live in Japan? I do not know. That's a very broad question, because I've only lived in a few. Oh, Twitch ads. Okay, I will hang off for just a second while those ads finish. Thank you, Travel. Listening to Japanese media on 2 times doesn't help. Probably not. Yeah, I would say, like, before I fully answer that question, I've only like lived in 2 different prefectures. So it'd be very. I'm just gonna answer the question anyways. It's too hard. It's too hard to like not continue rolling with that. Sorry. It seems like they're over anyways. Yeah, I've only lived in two places. I live in Saitama. For me, this is actually like a very reasonably priced, close to Tokyo place to live with lots to do. Good food, good people. But I've also traveled to other areas that I feel like would be good to live. You just have to. It depends on what you want. I want proximity to the big cities, but not in the big cities. So that's why this is the perfect place for me. Hold on. Am I missing? Here we go. What jobs have you worked in Japan? I was a English language teacher, like an Eikaiwa teacher. I worked in early childhood education as a kindergarten teacher, being the main teacher of my own class. And then I managed the school, and then I was a principal of an international kindergarten for about 5 years. I also ran two of my own businesses. One of them was just I was ready to open my own school or other business, but I ended up not doing it, so I closed it. And then my other one was selling Japanese products abroad, networking. We had a bunch of like side projects. Most of them didn't pan out, especially once the pandemic hit, but it was a really good company for a while. And we were making money and like doing, it was growing, but then once COVID hit, we couldn't do shipping for cheap anymore, and it really disrupted everything for us because the shop was probably our biggest component of our company. Best place you have lived, Ehime Shikoku for me. Ehime is a beautiful place. I would love to live there. It's really nice. It had some disaster recently, right, with near the castle, but yeah, it's a great place. Food's really good. Beautiful sights nearby. I like living in Saitama, but for me, being close to Tokyo is important since all my friends live in Tokyo. But one day I'd eventually love to live in Matsumoto. To me, Matsumoto, Nagano has everything that I could ever want, and the air is cleaner and it's less crowded, but there's still good food, nice people, and proximity to Tokyo is still not unreasonable, like for like a weekend trip or things like that. Well, Chiba's considered Tokyo a greater area, if that makes you feel better, Sam. Sorry. Did YouTube chat just completely drop off, or is my thing not working? Okay, no, it worked. Okay, good. What was COVID like in Japan, and how did it affect your plans? To be honest, COVID was I hate to say this, but it was a wonderful time to be in Japan. I always feel guilty saying this, but it was a wonderful time to be in Japan. Everywhere was just like empty. But we didn't have lockdowns. We had weird rules, but they came and went. The government said, do not leave your prefecture, which is like a state. But then at the same time, they said, if you do, we're going to give you extra money. It was called go-to travel. So as a YouTuber and Twitch streamer, when I would go somewhere, the hotel would pay me money. Like they'd be like, it's like money you can use in the city, kind of like Monopoly, not Monopoly, Disney money or something like that. Like I couldn't just spend it anywhere, but most restaurants and shops were using it at the time. You've recently been on gluten-free as part of your diet. How hard is it to stick with that buying food out in Japan? Oh, that's really a good point. Since rice is the primary, carb for Japanese people, sticking with traditional diets makes it quite a bit easier. Food question. What was your favorite food before you started your new diet? Actually, my favorite food before starting the new diet was yakitori. So it's luckily it made it a lot easier for me. Yakitori or skewered sticks of chicken I could eat it like morning, afternoon, and night every single day. Of course, I'm happy to answer your question. Anytime. Feel free to ask more. My absolute favorite piece of food is called nodoguro. It's a fish you find off the Sea of Japan, and once they grill it and add some salt to it, it is to me like the tastiest thing in this world, and it's still fine with my diet, so it's great. Is it easy to be vegetarian in Japan? It's easy to be I think it's easy to be vegetarian. I think it's harder to be vegan because I think they use a lot of in like the soup bases and in a lot of things that they cook, they use like animal product stuff. So I think if you just want to avoid meat, you can do it. They do have vegetarian options at a lot of places, and for the most part, restaurants are pretty transparent about what they use. But if you want to be vegan, it can be a lot more challenging, I think. In Tokyo, there's a lot. There are more vegan options. It's more trendy in Tokyo or big cities. But like here in Saitama, I think if I wanted vegan, I'd have to look it up, or I'd have to be very specific places. Yeah. Pimon for the win. Yeah, that's green peppers. It's good. How are you with having friends with big social presence? My friend just hit 100K subs on YouTube. I'm happy for him, but I'm also incredibly jealous at the same time. I do compare myself a lot because, like, yeah, I have friends that are like millions of subscribers and stuff. And, like, it can be really hard because on one hand, I had a thing in the beginning where I didn't want anybody to feel like I'm trying to mooch off their success. So I'm still very hesitant in how I interact. Like, I don't approach them for collabs or things, even though I know I could approach some of them. If they, a couple times I've been approached and I'm like, sure, you know, but you don't have to shout me out, or like, I can just be a cameraman. Like, you don't have to put me in your video. And they did anyways, which was really sweet. But 3 questions on YouTube. Oh, you guys, sorry. Thank you. I should be looking at the mixed chat. But yeah, I think just be happy for them, because seeing your friends succeed is really good. And you'll still feel some jealousy. That's just normal. But as long as you channel that into like being appreciative for them having success, rather than none of you having like any success, and then try your best to, you know, to get there with them, you know. Okay, let me answer some from YouTube here. Sorry about that. Thank you so much. Is living in Japan expensive? It actually can be quite cheap if you know how to do it. It's all about what you want out of your experience in Japan. You can live extremely cheap, but you might not enjoy it. But it's possible to. That's the thing that's nice about Japan, is that you can live off like a real base salary. You may not be living the dream that you want, but you can absolutely live a decent life off like minimum wage, which is wild, you know, because of the healthcare system is so cheap. And if you choose a cheap apartment and you cook and you like don't go out a lot, you can really just survive. I know plenty of people who are just, you know, like bus driver or like, you know, or do various jobs that are just like, you know, convenience store worker, and they can live a life just fine. Of course, it's always better to have more money, and it's getting harder with inflation now, but it is possible. There was a thing about how it's easier here than so many places in the world to live off a low salary, especially compared to the US, where I come from. Let's see. What's the strangest, oddest thing you've ever eaten in Japan? Oddest thing I've ever eaten in Japan would probably have to be, Oh man, that's really tough. I had turtle soup. Supon is snapping turtle. Hydrate, thank you. Supon is snapping turtle. DB, I see your question. I'll read it in a second. And I had a nabe where they put the they took the turtle's shell and put it in sake, which tasted awful. And then they put the rest of the body in a soup, and it was slimy and gross, and I just didn't like it. But it's meant to build your stamina, and it's good for, you know, certain stamina requiring things. But yeah, Shirako also. Hey, Ralph, what's up, dude? What's going on? Good to see you. Moving to Japan is not possible without a degree, right? Outside of marriage. That is not true. If you're from the US and saying that, I can see why, because a lot of countries have a program called working holiday, where they can work in Japan for a year or more without any degree or anything up to a certain age. However, you can come here as a student. So you can come, but you have to save up money, obviously. But I know plenty of people who have either done the student route, saved up, came and been an international student for a year, or they came and studied like TEFL or TESOL or something. And so if you're doing some kind of learning Japanese class or TEFL, you know, English language certification, so you can be a teacher, that's a foot in the door, because once you're here, then you can try to like network, meet people, find a company that will sponsor you. So getting in the door is not impossible, but like moving straight away here and having a sponsored visa without being married can be very difficult. So Ralph, have you fixed the year?
This is DX just resubbed for 44 months.
So Ralph, have you fixed the roof heater yet?
I'll put on the speaker so I can hear it. Fixed the roof heater yet? Poor Ralph finally comes back and it's like, oh no. Okay. Where are we at? Yeah, this is actually really fun. It's quite challenging. It was fun. Thank you for the 44-month sub, DX. I appreciate that. Oh, shoot. Text to speak should be off. All right. Okay. Even Obama asked Ralph if his heaters work. That's true. Okay. This is so much fun, actually. It's like totally tweaking with my of my ADHD. Like I'm juggling chat. I really like it. Thanks, guys. They seem to be 12 weeks. There are year-long programs from what I've heard. I know people who have come out here by becoming students. So, yeah, but I don't know in detail because I haven't done it myself, unfortunately. Sorry. How was the transition of integrating to life in Japan, cultural, both from daily life standpoint and professionally, and did the difference in work-life balance present a significant hurdle, or did the novelty of a new major life experience carry through for a while? That's a really good question. I think honestly, so I worked for companies. I worked for two types of companies. Companies that are used to foreigners and understand our way of working is different than the Japanese style working. For example, I made more money than my manager, and I didn't work as many hours as my manager. But as the teacher, I was the one who was the company's like product, so they had to. And he knew my salary, but he still had to like work overtime while I got to go home at 5 p.m. And I felt bad for him, but like they start really low and then they work their way up. So eventually, but that actually caused some rifts with me and head office employees before, because they would hate managing our school knowing that I make more money than them and they'll never be able to make as much money as I was. And that depressed them apparently. And they went a little crazy trying to cause trouble in my life, but I won't get into that in this stream. But yeah, I will come back to that. That's a very detailed question, DB. So I will come back to that in a minute. Let me just catch up with YouTube real quick. Did I miss any questions here? I watched some I bought a cheap house in Japan videos on YouTube. One person bought a house for 6K. Is that real? So I get that question a lot. It's a really good one. Those videos are not lying to you, but the problem is that most of the time, any house that's really cheap or free is in an area that's just desolate. And all the people have left to go to big cities. And so that city needs people. They're willing to give away houses for free or even pay you. Some places will pay you money to live there just so you can put into the economy there and pay taxes and buy things, live there, because they're just dying. These cities are dying. They don't have enough people to sustain them and then, they start falling apart unless people want to live there. So are you willing to live in the middle of nowhere with not much around just to live in Japan in a cheap house? Then yes, you can absolutely do it. But you can very rarely find a deal like that in a city. Very rarely. But and some of those videos might be in a place like that, but it's very lucky. And you're not likely going to be able to do that. And if you are able to get a house for like $6,000, $10,000 or zero in Tokyo, you're going to have to do a lot more in repairs and rebuilding. So it's not really as simple as just, oh, hey, here's a house for free. Go. If you know what I mean, Do you find foreigners treat you well before knowing you're a successful person? First of all, I'm not a successful person. I was much more successful at my previous job. But even then, most people who know me don't know who I am. Or if they know me and they're my friends, they know who I am, but they know that they don't care. I don't care. I'm not famous in any way that would make people uncomfortable. I don't think. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just a normal person who, this is what I do for a living, but I used to do other things, The beauty of Japanese women is underrated. I was there for 2 weeks. I saw. Yeah, you know what? I think it really all depends on your preference, but I think everywhere I've traveled in the world, I feel like there's beautiful people everywhere. That's as much as I'm going to answer that question, because I want to keep it like very family friendly. Rainy season over? It varies. Sometimes it's over in like a month. Sometimes it takes 3. It sucks. It's usually June to some of July, but it started already. It's been raining all of May. End of the last half of May, and it's raining this week. So I think this year we might have like another 2.5, 3 month rainy season. I hate them, but it's all right. Less people streaming outside means more time for Nomad, Yeah. I was on a friend's stream today and he's like, I was going to do IRL, but it's raining. I'm like, yes, that's right. Everybody stay indoors when it's raining. Nomad has a car. He'll go outside and stream. Um, um, yeah, I'm looking forward to the hydrangeas. Now that I got that question out of the way, tell me about your best thing. No, but I do like that question though. I'm gonna go back up to it. Honestly, daily life is honestly it's good. It's good. Daily life is good. Social things. Social was a little tough for me to get used to because people are not so open until they're drunk. And so if you're not a drinker, it can be a little bit difficult socially because Japanese people typically, once they have a few drinks, they're an open book. They're really friendly. They're happy. They're sharing everything. But before that, I feel like conversations for a while when you meet someone are fairly surfacey. But that's just my experience. I don't know if it's like that for everyone. And also a majority of my friends are either foreigners or English speaking Japanese people. So I might not be the best person to ask about that. AU's partners. I don't use SpaceX or AU. So probably for the best, but yeah, anyways, what made you want to move to Japan? Drink a lot. Noted. No, you don't have to drink, but it does help. It's social lubricant in Japan. And so you can still hang with those people without drinking, but I'm just telling you that that's kind of the society. When you're meeting new people, once you have friends, I think you can do plenty. And there's plenty of people who don't drink too, especially younger people now. I use Rakuten and 2 Docomo SIMs, and I have a SoftBank SIM for my phone. I actually have another Docomo SIM that's Shoko's that I use for my chat phone, but Docomo's pretty solid, but Rakuten helps balance it out, in my opinion. But for what made me want to move to Japan, it's a super long story, but to really condense it, I needed a language unit in my university for the major I was in at the time, and they said, so I said, I talked to my guidance counselor person at the university. I said, hey, can I just take like intro to Spanish? They said, well, you took Spanish in high school, so you need to take advanced Spanish. I was like, I took Spanish in high school, but I can't speak any of it. So like they said, nah, it's too bad. It's either advanced Spanish or start a new language. My roommate at the time was studying Japanese because he was a huge anime fan, and he got me into it too. So like I also liked anime. I thought, oh, that'd be kind of cool to learn. I looked at his textbook and I'm like, oh, that looks awesome. Yeah, let's do it. I'll just take one semester of Japanese. I ended up taking like a whole bunch of Japanese. And then I decided to come here for a trip before I wanted to move here or anything. Like, let me just see what it's like. Maybe it's like, all amazing in anime, but like there weren't YouTube or Twitch videos then. It was 2005. It wasn't really any content about Japan. So I decided to go for myself and see. And I traveled for 2.5 weeks and I loved it so much. And I could only think about coming back. So yeah, that was that. Yeah, they're saying AU connections should be more stable. Well, I've had nothing but bad luck with AU, so I'll wait till people use it, and if it works well, maybe. But I'm happy with my setup right now. It works pretty much anywhere I go. What's one neighborhood that you feel is underrated that people should visit? Are you talking like in Tokyo or Osaka or somewhere, or are you talking like just anywhere in Japan? Like my number one neighborhood I'd recommend is now been destroyed, which is really sad. I actually get super, super unhappy about that all the time because I had like a real spiritual connection with that place, and it got wrecked by an earthquake about 1.5 years ago. What is the oh yeah, hold on. I'll in Tokyo. So I'll answer that real quick, and then I'll get to your question real simple. In Tokyo, a neighborhood that I'm a huge fan of Akabane for nightlife, for like drinks and stuff, because I feel like it's starting to get kind of gentrified and tourist friendly, but it up until now it's been a really amazing spot to hang out. Odaiba has also changed a lot. They got rid of a lot of stuff like the History Car Garage, the Toyota Museum, that really nice mall, the Ferris wheel. But even though they got rid of Odaiba Onsen, Oedo Onsen, but even though they got rid of all that stuff, I still feel like Odaiba and Toyosu and all the islands in Tokyo Bay are like my favorite to hang out at. I'm probably going to go there on Friday. That's how much I love them. So I would highly recommend spending some time, because you can walk between all those islands, and there's a monorail that goes between them too. You can easily spend a day enjoying it, and I feel like people go to the main tourist spots like the fish market and stuff, and the Gundam, but they don't actually explore the in-betweens, which I feel are really good. So I would recommend that. How did you get moved to Japan teaching English? So I'm very lucky, actually, and I feel kind of guilty about this, but because it's not as easy now. Back when I decided to come to Japan in 2007, the Eikaiwa industry, Eikaiwa is like English language teaching, where you teach like 20 to 25 lessons a week, 1 hour lessons to like 1 to 8 students at a time. And, you know, it's like pretty busy work, but it was like the most standard at the time. Those companies were getting big because governments would sponsor salarymen, like employees, to go to them. So we had tons of people coming. And then a lot of people thought putting their kids in an Eikaiwa once a week, an hour a week, would teach their kids English. And once they realized that doesn't work, people kind of lost faith in them. They overextended. They were like expanding. So in 2007, they needed people. They had hiring offices in Los Angeles, Sydney, London, all sorts of places. So I'm from Southern California. So I just applied, drove up to LA, interviewed. They liked me. I came in for a second interview. They liked me. They sponsored my visa. I went to this immigration office in Los Angeles, got a discounted flight, and came over. When I arrived, they converted my visa to a specialist in humanities, and I started working. I did that twice, actually. But now all those hiring offices are gone, and they don't do that kind of stuff anymore. And the Eikaiwa industry has never really recovered. They kind of overexpanded, and now they're struggling still, I feel. The problem with rapid expansion of anything that requires foreign talent is they're going to get lots of good people, but they're going to get lots of bad people too. And the bad people will really ruin the reputation. Because when they're expanding that fast, they'll take anybody. You got a heartbeat, let's go, you know? And then, and that proved to be like the downfall of English language teaching, I feel, in Japan. Though, yeah. Sit down and let Luke tell you a story about how he first came over with his ex-girlfriend. Well, yeah, I did that. I did. That's a long story, though. I'm trying to keep them short. The longer stories will come in. I do a podcast, which I haven't been keeping up with, on my YouTube channel. It's also on Spotify and all these other things, Amazon Music, all that. I tell stories and I interview guests. I've only got a handful on there now, but I plan to keep doing more of those. If you guys have topics you want to hear details about, like an hour-long story about, I will be happy to make more videos on those topics. Do I follow Japanese politics? Not at all. Only like the meme-worthy stuff. Is neighbor socializing needed for long-term stays? Nah. My neighbor behind me is a laughing moron who laughs like Krusty the Clown on a daily basis, doesn't have a job, and pisses me off. But all my other neighbors are really nice, but they keep to themselves. I've had, on the neighbors on this side, I've had talks with quite a few times. They're really nice people. They offered us something to like help with our driveway once, because he was doing his driveway. He's like, do you want some? The other day he washed his car and some water went on my car, and he was like so apologetic. Do you want me to wash your car? I got some water in your car. I was like, bro, it rained yesterday. Like, even if it didn't, like, I don't care. It's fine. Look how dirty my car is. I was like, thank you. I appreciate like your thought, but no, you're fine. Like, he's actually very considerate. This couple across from us. But the one behind me is nuts. But, we're friendly with our neighbors. We have a bonsai master. We have a chicken yakitori guy. We have lots of good people in our neighborhood that we started to get to know, but you don't need to. In fact, it's pretty uncommon to really know your neighbors, I feel. So how are you still there? I don't hate him. He's just an annoyance, to be honest. And also, I own this house, so I don't really want to move just because some dude laughs a lot. Sorry. Let me catch up there. Solo traveling. What's the best way of meeting people in Japan when traveling solo? It's really funny you asked that, because I just met a friend Sunday. Shoko and I met with a friend who was a viewer for a long time recently, and he said he would just talk to people. But I understand. So men versus women is different. Like going up to strangers and talking to them, like at a bar or something, could be a little bit different, obviously, depending on your gender. But I would. Right now, I didn't have this when I came out to Japan, but right now, there are tons of meetup groups and things like Meetup, where you can go on and just find like people doing like-minded things. Like, for example, if you're a fan of rock climbing or hiking, you can find people who are like always looking for more to join them. And you do that once, one activity, one event, make friends. Or you can go to something called Artedly, where it's once a month, which is a gathering of creatives like myself and others. But like quite a few people who come there are just visiting Japan and wanting to meet people, and they ask advice and they make friends, and it's great. I think without diplomas, people who without diplomas want to migrate to Asia. It's easier to go to Thailand and then work way up to migrate to Japan. Didn't know that. That's interesting. Let's see. A bar is one of the worst ways to meet people. It actually isn't. I've met some really great people at bars, but there are plenty of other ways to meet. It's just that's a place where people are more open to talking to strangers, especially in big cities like Tokyo. Everyone's like got blinders on and they're on their next mission. It's rare to have people just be open to like free communication. That's what it's meetup groups. I was talking about meetup in general, but I think there's meetup groups on Facebook. I've never used meetup groups on Facebook. I've only used Meetup, the app, but I think there's all sorts of ways now. I think there's a bunch on Facebook as well. It's like, you know me. Do you like that? I just threw that in there. I had to add some others just in case, didn't know how you'd react. Sorry, I just saw like a good question in here. And sorry, Greggles, I'll refund you the crusty neighbor laugh for now. I'm sorry, I saw it. I'll refund you because I'm just, or I can do it later. But let me just try to keep up with this. Other than teaching, what are the most common professions of foreigners? So I would say, I went the teaching route, but I think a lot of people come over here. I have a lot of friends in the game industry who come here and work in the game industry. IT is very popular. The other one, if you don't have like a specific skill that I see a lot of people go into or move to from teaching, is headhunting, which I heard is actually really terrible or really tough to do unless you're super good at it. Because you basically have to find people at jobs and convince them to go to other jobs, and then you get a massive payout. Because when you're able to hire someone through an agency like that, you have to pay like 3 or 4 months worth of salary to get that person. You're basically like paying a lot of money to get a quality hire. And if they don't work out in like 30 days, you get some refund. I used to hire, so I've worked with companies like that. It's crazy expensive to hire through them, but you're meant to get like a top tier person. A smile meetup app would be a good idea. Didn't think about that, but a good way to meet people abroad. Yeah, there's a lot of people who come to Artedly, this event. I'm not sponsored by these guys. One of my really good like best friends in Japan runs this. So any chance I have to support it or sponsor it is just icing on the cake. But I'm not sponsored in any way by them. So after teaching English, how are you living in the country currently? Okay, so I am. So I was teaching English, and then I was a principal, right? And then I also had a side company, but then I got married in 2013. So I've been married for 12 years. So I was on a spousal visa. I didn't get married to avoid my visa. I actually got married. I switched to a spousal visa, but I worked in the company for a long time after, so I didn't need to switch. I just wanted to because I liked having the spousal visa has no limit. The unfortunate part about working on a work visa is that your range of work is limited to a certain like industry. So let's say you come here and you get a specialist in humanities, which is the standard teaching visa. You can't just go and work at like a supermarket or, work in IT or things like that. You have to find a company who will help you switch your visa status. But when you're married or permanent resident, you have infinite possibilities. You can work in any industry. So I don't think I could be a politician in Japan, but I could try. But I could work in anywhere at the moment. So that's kind of the goal. To get to permanent resident status, you have to be married 3 years or working for 10 years. I did both. So it wouldn't have required me to marry my wife. At that point in the where I was in my career as a principal, and I was making good money, it would have been pretty easy to get permanent resident status even if I wasn't married, and then be able to move into something else. Like right now, I'm a content creator, so I earn money through as a freelancer, which you're not actually technically supposed to do if you don't have the visa for it. But it's still a new thing. So I'm fine because I'm a permanent resident. Like I don't run on visas anymore. But I think other people that run on visas do stream and technically aren't supposed to, but it's still a new industry. I'm sure eventually they'll kind of crack down on that stuff. And have I caught up with the questions? Can I take a drink of tea real quick? Hold on. Oh my God. This is amazing. Actually, this is going, I think all things considering, doing this IRL is going to be hard. But I'll have my chat phone with me and I can stop and like read the chat phone. Right now I'm monitoring the streams and also like, you know, I don't know. This is easy, but it's hard. I think it might be, Sam's gonna get cracked down. Hey, Shoko, are you saying hi on? So it works. But it doesn't tell me who's on YouTube, who's on Twitch. So I guess it's okay if I don't know. I can just answer. If I have the chat phone has both chats, which is cool. So I think when I'm out and about, I won't be like looking at Twitch, looking at YouTube. I'll just be looking at chat and reading it. It's going to be like that. It doesn't tell me who's who. It tries to put people in red if they're on Twitch, but it put Shoko, my wife. There's my wife, guys, if you're asking. Yeah, Niharia. She's also a streamer, but well, as a hobby, she does other work mainly. What would you like to see that's common in Japan, exported to other countries? And what would you like to see from other countries brought to Japan? Like a lot of small things. Actually, okay, 18 years ago, I could have had a massive list for you of things that just don't exist in Japan. And that list has gotten so much smaller because over the last 18 years, more people have moved here and more of those things are available. And also like international trade and Amazon and so many other things have made it easy to get stuff that I couldn't get before. I fact checked. Luke, if you become a Japanese citizen, you can actually be a politician, even PM, theoretically. Yeah, but I gotta be a citizen. It's like, it's quite a, I don't even know how I'd do that. That'd be pretty hard. But that's really interesting. Thank you, Danny, for letting me know. There's a chaos in the house if he said, I wish we had bacon in Japan. Oh, we actually brought some for the dogs. They liked it. So in Japan, I would like to see, you know what I'd like to see, even though it's not on my diet? Poutine. God damn. For the Canadians out there, actually, they wouldn't be here. I think they'd be asleep right now. Yeah, maybe Chris can be PM. He's done so much at this point. He might as well just go for PM. I feel like Chris won't stop until he's done everything. Like, he's like, I've met the Emperor. Yeah, but wow, why don't I be the Emperor? I want to tell him that next time I see him. That'd be great. Yeah, Kobe was older, but they did like it a lot. But yeah, it's really hard for me to think of that right now for some reason. Thanksgiving stuff, like stuffing doesn't exist here. Mashed potatoes are still not so common. I'd like to see more, for me, traditional Thanksgiving things. Turkey is not here, really. I'd love to see everything that makes Thanksgiving in Japan. So that answers that question. What I think Japan should ship to other places I would say natto, but most people would probably throw a rock at me. And some places do have natto. I think natto is life. It's fermented soybeans are one of the best things I've ever eaten. And I know it's hard for people to believe that, but I'd love to see that worldwide be a thing. Look at Chris became PM of anywhere. It'd be an accidental result of a great video idea. Oh yeah. He'd be like, I just want to do it for a day. And they're like, damn, you did it so much better. How about you just do it for life, you know? KFC Thanksgiving, not quite the same, unfortunately. Yeah. If I were a dog, what are the biggest differences between living in Japan and living in the US? For one, there's no rabies in Japan. And if you don't believe me, look it up. There was rabies a long time ago. There is no rabies in Japan. They are very strict about everything regarding animals. If you bring a dog over, there's a quarantine time, specifically to prevent that kind of thing from happening. Rabies is we can't take our dogs to a dog run or a dog park or a dog theme park, which there are tons in Japan, which is really fun. You can't take them there without proving you have done the rabies vax. Chris is more of a dictator than an elective leader. I can speak from experience as that is true. No rabies. Foot and mouth is also rare. I've had it. It sucks. I had like 3 bumps on my hand. I told the doctor, I think I have it. He's like, I don't think so. Open your mouth. He looked in. He's like, oh, he looked in for 2 seconds. He's like, yeah, you got it. Here's some meds. Get out of here. I was like, what was my mouth? What was my mouth like, man? And he's like, don't worry about it. It kind of freaks you out when a doctor's like, yep, nope, you're good. Okay. Like, it like 1 second and he already knew. My throat and mouth must have looked terrible. Like, it was the back of my like throat, right? I couldn't feel it. I don't know what it looks like, but he took one look and he's like, yep, here are the meds. Say, is it though, Greggles? Is it? Is that poutine really? I thought it was more like a. I mean, I guess. I thought it was cheese curds. Is that the same thing? Do you know the reason why fruits are expensive in Japan? Yes. Why have you abandoned YouTube? I have not abandoned YouTube. Okay, I'll answer that first. That's a very serious question. I have not abandoned YouTube. I was working really hard to reach a certain goal on Twitch, but also like, YouTube is a huge passion project for me, but it takes a lot of time. And lately I've had like, my dog got really sick and then had another sickness. And then now the other one's sick. I had a lot of things happen in my personal life that made it really hard to juggle Twitch and YouTube the way I usually do. Like the beginning of the year, I was putting out videos and I was doing Twitch. It was great. But then I'm not going to get into it, but a lot of stuff happened in my personal life that made it really challenging. And that stuff is little by little being sorted out, and hopefully really like to get back into more regular posting. But the reason I'm doing today's dual stream is so that I can start doing more YouTube lives for people who don't want to come over to Twitch but still be able to access content. I was going to focus the YouTube live on purely like really cool spots, and the Twitch being more IRL, you know, as in like 10-hour stream, and then the YouTube live is maybe 1 or 2 hours of that in one location, but the rest is us, you know, as we usually do here. So I'm sorry if people feel like I've abandoned it. I'm really sorry for those that have taken the time to sub, watch my videos, and then nothing comes out for a month. I will try my best to fix that. I have 5 videos I'm currently working on, all of which will come out at some point. Just need to do it. Hey Kage Alex, you want to just post them both? Appreciate that. Exact same process. Makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I don't know enough about it, but got it. The reason fruit is expensive in Japan is because they've put a lot of effort to grow very big, very sweet fruit. In fact, actually, we try to avoid Japanese fruit now because it's heavily sugar filled. Apples you cut, there's a thing called mitsu where you can see what looks like honey inside the apple. It's just so. It's so like crazy. It'll be Mickey's. Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly. Post as a VOD. That's what I'm trying to do. So Japan is a limited space place, right? So they grow like X amount of apples. It's not as many apples as they import from other countries. So they're going to be a lot more expensive. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the reason. It's not like the same grapes in, Mexico are the same, and the same grapes in Japan that are like crazy expensive, because if they grow regular fruit in Japan, it's not that expensive compared. It's cheaper. It's cheaper than like the top tier fruit. So people look at like Muscat grapes that are like $30 for a set, and they're like, "Oh, Japan grapes are expensive." Actually, Japan has cheap grapes, but like most of them are imported. But they do make their own. But if they're not that crazy type, you know. Apples too. There's Japan apples that are very affordable. Japan melons and watermelons, very cheap. But if they're the special watermelons, the really nice ones, the really nice melons, they're $50, $100. So people look at those and they post those online. But actually, there's plenty of cheap fruit too. Still more expensive than abroad, but not like insane. Have you joined the Discord? That's a good question. Have you? I know that's the Streamlabs bot, but still. I have both streams of chat open. Thank you. If you guys actually have the other one open, it does help with ad revenue and stuff too. So I do appreciate that. Put a link to getting Japanese citizenship via naturalization in the subscriber chat of Discord for you. Okay, I'll check it out. Thank you. I'm not sure I'm going to try to become prime minister at any point in my life. I hate politics, but just knowing it's possible is pretty damn cool. I could do it. But I get up there and be like, well, first I gotta learn like full Japanese, right? But
people of Japan, I believe it's time we get rid of all this bureaucracy and throw away your fax machines. I'll recycle them. And then we can look toward a better tomorrow.
Yeah, the fruit we buy is like typically imported and it's cheaper. It's going to be more expensive probably than what you spend, or I'd say like less for the same price than what you would get back home. But you're not stuck eating Japanese top tier fruit all the time. Because I eat fruit every day. I'd go bankrupt if I ate Japanese like Maine apples or grapes. They have $30 grapes. They have $100 watermelons. I'm not going to eat that. Think I'm caught up over there. When you become PM, can you allow me to leave to stay in the country as a special advisor? Thank you. I'm really not. I have zero ambition for this, by the way, but it would be funny. There's between driving in Japan and driving in the U.S. Any cultural shock moments? Well, for one, as much as people can be a little bit crazy, I've had more wild road rage moments in the U.S. than here. I think one thing that surprised me a lot is that everybody drives slower here. The speed limit's lower. So accidents are much more low impact. Like fatalities from car accidents are much less. I think more people die from getting hit, pedestrians getting hit by cars, or people on bicycles getting hit by cars. Don't quote me on it, but that's the only, I hear that in the news more than I hear like a car accident caused a death, like between two cars, because the overall like speed limit on the highways is 80 to 100 kilometers per hour, which I don't know what that is in miles per hour. What's 80 kilometers per hour in miles per hour? Okay, well, it didn't. That was nice. It didn't give me the answer, as it usually doesn't. But it's slow compared to like US and Europe and things. 50 miles per hour. A lot of highways, 50 is, of course, we go more, but 50 is pretty low. Like California is 65. Some highways are 70 as the minimum. So people go much higher than that, of course, right? So I feel, yeah, it's quite slow when you think about it. Yeah. It means you'll no longer be an American in Japan, but an English-speaking Japanese man. No! I like being a foreigner. Well, except for what happened on... Anyone remember what happened? Oh, that was yesterday. Yeah, I'm not going to go into it too detailed, but some guy yelled at me. He hurt my feelings. No, it was just crazy neighborhood Oji-san, but Shoko told me more about it. I'll talk about it on tomorrow's stream. She told me more about why that happens and stuff. I was like, wow, okay. 100 kilometers an hour is 65. Right, so some highways, 100 is acceptable. I generally don't go much higher than the speed limit because I just prefer not to get a ticket, and I just don't want to deal with other people going crazy. So I'm driving like, yeah, 65, 70, right? Like, well, I drove much faster in America, so I think that also is surprising for me. And also, if you're used to driving in other countries, you come to Japan, what will surprise you is you'll see the distance. Oh, it's 20 kilometers. Oh, that's no problem. That'll take me what, like 20 minutes? No, there's a lot of traffic lights in Japan. There's a lot of traffic lights. And everything is regulated very, very strongly, which is one reason why there aren't so many accidents. But going 20 kilometers takes so much time. And the highways most highways are paid highways. So to go faster between point A and point B, you have to pay money. I don't like that either. I miss freeways. But the alternative thing to that is that when you're on the expressway, there are really cool rest areas, many of which are only accessible from the expressway. Has unique food, unique restaurants, cool sites. So I try to take advantage of them because I'm paying anyways. That's just before tuning when I got back from social. Yeah, that's right. I remember. Yeah. I'll tell the story in more detail then. Shoko's explanation will be interesting. I hope so. Yeah. So yeah, that's sort of my thing. Like, I feel like driving is less scary here because it's regulated more. A lot of people say, I'm too scared to drive on the left side. If you're from America or some other places, driving on the left side is scary. And I'll tell you, it's not. It really is not. It almost has like no noticeable effect after you've driven for a week or a couple days. The hardest thing for me is that the wipers and turn signal are switched. So when you go to turn the turn signal or the wipers on when it's raining, you'll turn your blinker on, and vice versa. You'll go, I want to go left, and then your wipers will start going. And that takes some time. That's the hardest thing about switching from the left and right switch, basically. Okay. Is there anyone post a question that I did not read yet? I did not answer yet? Feel free to repost it, because I think I've caught up, which I didn't think was possible, and we did, and I'm happy. We made it, guys. It's still so much easier than the Reddit days. The Reddit days, they wouldn't stop. They would be like 50 questions a minute. You've mentioned humanities education a few times. What are the common and more rare fields of education foreigners have? Humanities isn't the education, it's the visa. So the visa types, they'll be explained online. I only know about the humanities because that's the most common one for teaching and education. Unless you're an ALT, that's an instructor visa. It's an even more limited visa from what I understand. So I did not study humanities. Humanities is specialist in humanities is the name of the visa a lot of people get when they come to Japan, if they're working the industry that I did. That exactly what happened when I went from Mitsubishi to an international model. Oh, the switch. Yeah. Have I considered getting a motorcycle in Japan? One of my best friends here is about to buy a motorcycle, so I'm hoping to interview him and learn more about the process of getting a motorcycle, buying a motorcycle, the gear that you buy. I'm sure he'll be happy to share it with you guys. You know him. He's been posting pictures, so it's not like a secret. My buddy Megamat TV. So once he's got his motorcycle, I would love to have him on and get a whole thing about that. Me personally, I like my van. I like being inside the space that I can sleep in, that my bike can go in, that I can put lots of stuff in. I love biking, so I don't really need an in-between personally, I think. Motorcycle school sucked. Dela, is yours, or Ralph, is yours, doxed. You have a Vespa, right? What CC is that? I'm just curious. What caused you to have to get a driver's license via exams? So I did the conversion, actually. But it was really hard for me. 200cc. Okay, yeah, so you absolutely need a motorcycle license for that. Did you have a motorcycle license back home? Wait, now I'm asking you. But I thought it might help what numbers to get the answer. Because I think Matt had one back home, but decided to go from scratch here because he hadn't driven in so long and figured it would be helpful. If you come to Japan from another country and you want to get a driver's license, I talk a lot about this on the podcast, but you can convert. If you're from certain countries, it's just an eye test and bam, conversion. You have to translate your license to Japanese so they understand it at JAF, which is like AAA if you're from the US. JAF is the same kind of thing. You go to an office, they translate your license, you go in, you submit all these documents, you do an eye test, you get your license. If you're from most states in the US, like California, you have to do a shortened practical test and a very short written exam. The written exam's 10 questions and they're stupid. The English is terribly worded, but if you read it 10 times to try to understand what they're trying to say, or if you know some Japanese, you know why it sounds so bad. It's not too terrible. You can miss 4 questions, so most people pass. And that gives you 6 months to pass the practical within that time, which is still hard if you're working full time. But the practical was where I got screwed. I had to take it 5 times. I'm a safe and good driver, I think, personally. You guys have watched me drive on stream many times. You should know. We've done drive streams for years. And I think I show you guys that I'm a fairly decent driver. But they kind of fail you. They often fail you a lot just to make you go through it to prove you're worthy of the Japanese license. So they got out and they stopped me twice, 2 tests, got out and measured with a ruler how far from the stop line I was. And if you want the whole story, it's on my podcast. It's took me 5 years to get a license. It doesn't take most people that long. I think it was pretty quick for Dela, right? Japan Ichiban, yo, how you doing, buddy? How's it going? Hope things are well. Hope things are going well. Do you have to pay much for the driving tests? No. If you do the full driving school license route in Japan, it's like $2 or $3 grand. If you do the conversion, you pay like $20-$25 to convert your license to Japanese. It depends on where you take the test, the cost. For Saitama, it's been a long time for me, like 10 years. But if I remember right, it was something like you pay $50 or $40 or something to do the whole process. And then once you do the written test and the driving test, then after that, you can try you could keep trying for free for us for 6 months. And after that, you have to do the whole process again. It wasn't so expensive. Then there's another fee when you get your license, like $30. So I guess in the end, probably about 100. Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah. Let's see if you're ready. Can you go back to back-to-back figure eights? What do you mean? Back-to-back figure eights? Like on a driving? Yeah, $2 or $3 grand. Yes, it's like a 2-week school or a 1-week school, and then you depending on the school, you take the practical there or the written there, and you take the other one at the driving center. The nice kicker is that the police do the driving in driving schools, or not driving schools, driving centers in Japan. So you're actually going to a massive police office, police center, and it's like police officers doing your driving test. Okay, well, I saw an American talking about the difference in car insurance costs between Japan, USA, and the UK. My car insurance around okay, 60,000 yen, 300 pounds. That's okay. So I'm bad because Shoko's the one dealing with all this, and she tells me, but I always forget. So I don't know how much our insurance costs if Shoko's watching. Sorry. I think it varies. There's a lot of variables, like the car's age, the type of car, whether you want to insure like the two of us or just one. A big factor is if one of us has a gold license, which I do currently and will for 5 years. And then after that, if I didn't get into any trouble, I'll get it again for 5 years. So most people have a blue license. It's a strip on the license that's blue. When you first get a license, it's green for like a year or 2 years or something. But most people have blue. If you don't have any accidents or issues or tickets or anything, after 5 years, you get a gold license. Gold license gives you better premiums on insurance. Those are with the... Oh, really? With the traffic police, too, for you guys. Yeah. I thought it was so weird because DMV is a government program in the U.S., but it's not the police. It's very different, very separate thing. So our insurance is probably more than that, I think, because I drive a lot. I travel far for Japan, and we're both drivers, you know. For a while I had it set so other people could drive the car. Now I don't, so that saves some money because my friend wanted to drive the car, so we did it and he never drove the car. So I was like, all right, well, fine then. American was basically saying in Japan they pay the equivalent of $300, which sounds the same as UK. Oh, US. Okay, so compare to the US. Keep in mind, when I was driving in the US, I bought like the bare minimum insurance because I was a broke college kid and I just had to drive really carefully. I think that's why I'm a careful driver. Like, if you want to be fully insured in America the way that I am here with my setup, it probably would be way more expensive, honestly. Yeah, thinking about it, I paid cheap like online insurance before. I forget what it was. It was one of those commercials, like one of those like you don't even talk with someone or anything. It's just like you just sign up, like basic one, print it out, get it sent. Who knows if they'll actually cover anything. I was young and reckless. Now we do everything properly by the books, you know. But that's really interesting, huh? Okay. Yeah. All right. Now that we've reached the end of the questions, for now, feel free to throw them in. I'm going to pull up my handy dandy questions generated by the internet. But these are also ones I used to get constantly when I was a Reddit streamer, and I still get to this day on Twitch sometimes, but not quite as frequently. It was nuts in the Reddit days. Questions. Oh, wait, hold on. Bing. Besides getting them drunk, do you recommend anything else if you're trying to befriend a Japanese person in person or online? I discourage walking up to strangers to start meeting people typically, but if you're going to events or using meetups or other things, I think the first thing is that's important is don't be very aggressive as far as like, you know, like I mentioned before, when you start to get to know a Japanese person, they're a little more surface level with you. So don't expect like deep answers or ask them a lot of their really personal stuff. I would say like kind of stick with some surface level talks like hobbies and interests, what they do, like what kind of things they want to do in the future, like get to know them. And I think that's fine. And also share about yourself. But I feel like personally, in coming from California, I felt like right away, you if you click with someone, pretty much talk about anything, it's fine. I wouldn't do that necessarily until you got to know them a bit better, as I feel like Japanese people have sort of a social face and a more like at home, relaxed or friends or family face. So, you know, initially it'll be a little bit more, you won't penetrate that wall right away, I feel. Just be friendly. Also, personal space is really important too. I think like being very touchy is not normal, except with drunk people apparently. But like, you know, hands-on, like touchy stuff is not a normal thing in Japanese culture originally. I think it's become more natural now. They obviously know handshakes are important for business, etc. But like, yeah, just take it slow. Take it easy. How does Japanese health insurance care compare to... Oh my God. If I say this now, Americans are going to hate me. But, I'll read that, Yogi, I'll read that in a second. Thanks. Yeah, Americans will probably hate me for this, but Japanese healthcare is very cheap. Very cheap. It's already cheap on its own, but if you're covered, whether it's through your company or through national health insurance, which is like, what, like $100 a month, either way, 200 max, you are getting coverage of 70% of any costs incurred, as long as it's not optional, like plastic surgery or something you don't need. That 70% is already out of a very low fee. So recently, I smashed my face, broke my nose, got a deep gash in my face that wouldn't stop bleeding, chipped my teeth, bruised everywhere. I was really messed up. An ambulance came and picked me up at 2 a.m. Took me 2 hours to find me a hospital. I got stitched up. I got brain scan, EKG, blood tests. I got all this stuff done. And I got the stitches removed. Was about equivalent to a little under $100. When I tore the cartilage in my knee, I went in for MRI, X-ray, pain meds, several consultations, crutches rental. All that cost me about $60-70. So if you think that's crazy, my ambulance ride cost me 3,000 yen, which is like 20 something bucks. And that's only because it was late night and emergency. Well, I mean, it's always emergency, but like if it hadn't been like late night, it would have been even cheaper, I think. So yeah. You have to still pay taxes in the US. Yes. Yeah. Unfortunately, if you're a resident of Japan, you do have to still pay taxes in the US, but mostly if you're making under, what I understand, if you're making under a certain amount, because I talk with accountants here and back home, if you're making under a certain amount, mostly you just report your income. They don't really have much need for your money. Like until you're making a certain amount, then they really want to have a piece of that. Because at, for example, my level, they probably owe me. So they really don't, I mean, I still file and everything, but like, if like this year, they'll probably end up owing me. And so they don't really care. And, you know, they're a little bit short staffed because something happened. But yeah, ultimately, that does suck. That is like one reason to want to be a citizen one day in the future, if it is possible, as it seems like it is. Has that changed you about Japanese not being touchy? Like when you visit US, do you like bow or keep more distance? Yes. I bow when I say sorry to when I'm in the US. If I bump into someone, I say I'll be like, oh, sorry about that. You know, like I do that as Star Killer calls this the shark fin of sorry. I always love that, you know, like go minasai, sorry, you know. Yeah, I do that all the time when I'm in the States. And it can't be helped. Like, so a funny quirk in Japan is you actually bow when you're on the phone as well. So like if you're talking on the phone, you'll be like, yeah, sorry about that. You know, thank you. I saw people doing it when I first came here and thought it was so weird, but now I do it too. So yeah, like you'll even get like deep bows sometimes. Arigatou gozaimashita. Yeah, like it's Pete doing that when he was in Wales quite a bit. Yeah. So I think like the tendency to be a little more to use the hand gestures to nod or bow gets absorbed by us living here because it's part of culture, and if you don't do it, it's a little bit out of place. Like when that guy yelled at me yesterday, I still was like, hi. Like I nodded to give him visual, like I understand what you're saying and I'm following what you're saying, so it wasn't confrontational, right? So that's an interesting question. You do the phone bowing too? It's hard not to, you know? It's like you see it everywhere, and you just end up doing the same kind of thing, right? That's so funny. I'm trying to think of other tendencies I have physically. They do a lot of grunting. It sounds weird, but like in Japanese, to show you're listening, you're like, or like someone says something surprising. So I find myself doing that when I go back home. Like so my mom will be like, oh, we're out of ketchup. I'll be like, we're having burgers though, you know? Probably not that surprising, but you know, like I notice that I make those sounds and I ask my family, like, is that weird? They're like, a little bit. Because they don't have any experience living in Japan, so what I'm doing is just making noises for no reason. Or like we do it a lot to show that we're listening and understanding. Like It's so if you live in Japan and you really sort of adapt to the culture and lifestyle here, you will find yourself doing these little quirks without meaning it, without realizing it. Yeah. Also, I've always been sort of a person who is apologetic, like, oh, sorry about that. But I find that I'm more so now when I go back home. There's 50 ways of Oz. Yeah, and they all mean different things. There's a great content creator that Volpsy and I were streaming on Friday, right? There's a great content creator, I forget the name of, something about rice. It's like it's rice with a face, and it goes into a lot of Japanese language quirks. It's actually so funny for someone living here because I'm watching it, I'm like, that's so true. But if you're not living here, it's also really informative. If somebody knows the channel, feel free to post it, any of the mods. With increasing temperatures globally in places like Tokyo being insanely hot in summer, does that make you concerned about how hot it'll be in the future? Time to buy a summer escape house, like in Hokkaido. I heard that Hokkaido can get really hot now too, lately, in the last like 10 years. I'm okay. Where I live here in Saitama is a couple degrees cooler. I'm not too worried because 37 degrees, which I swear to God, please just work phone. 37 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit. No. 37 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit. 98. So like typically the hottest it gets here is like 98. It's not really that bad. Tokyo gets a bit warmer. 99. Yeah, 99, 100. Like there are places in Japan that get way hotter than that. There is actually a place in Saitama. Was it Kumagaya or Takasaki, which is in Gunma? Somewhere around there, there's a place that gets, 47 degrees in summer. For some reason, that area just gets super hot. Next 6 years will become a bit cooler. Ah, interesting. That's good. Or maybe bad. I don't know. Winter might suck. Yeah, it's okay. Coming from San Diego, where it's generally 25 degrees Celsius, and at the hottest, or typically, it is really hot. When I came here, I thought I was gonna die, But I'm used to it now. Yeah, it's hot. Okay, so I'll cope with it. I usually have like an ice neck band. It's like a cloth that you wet, put around your neck, and it evaporates, cooling you. I wear cool like stuff that actually actively helps cool. I have an ice pillow and things like that. Who is this dual streamer? What's up? 47 G's, right? Yeah. But it rarely cracks. Yeah, I don't think we've ever gotten 40 where I live right here, so I'm not too stressed about it. Oh my God, this is the door. It's scary. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks, Shoko. I saw the door this time, so the hand didn't scare me. All right, I'm gonna take a quick break and eat some of this right here. Shoko made a brown rice pasta, mushroom pasta. See, just because we're eating healthy doesn't mean it can't be good. She makes these really nice. I've been in Florida for 10 years and not used to it. Yeah, I still get hot in summer, but I'm more used to it now, I'd say. At nearly 2 decades. Do a stretch as well. Sounds good. Oh. That was so nice of my wife to bring that. Oh, God. Ayashi door. No, the one that gets me is when she, like, I don't see the door open. I'm so into talking, and then like the hand comes out. That one always freaks me out. There was one time I had the voice mod on, and I was just like, when we had the voice mod on.
It was this one. I was like, and anyway, so I went back to the story. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I saw the clip. I sound ridiculous. It's great. Oh, this is great. This is good. Yeah, that's my wife Shoko. She's great. She's been a little bit offline lately because she's been so busy, but she does want to stream again and start a YouTube if she gets into it. I'm trying not to eat too much while I'm doing this. I can juggle 2 things. 3 things is tough. It's the voice mod. How do you do the Obama alert? They're actually 2 different things. I'd be happy to share them with you if you're curious later. Italian noodles, spaghetti. That's brown rice noodles. Honestly, this to me tastes just fine, but it's gluten-free, which is like what we do. We don't, gluten's okay, but wheat's not for us. And so like they usually overlap. There's occasional things I think where gluten is there, but wheat isn't, and that's fine. But for the most part, they're pretty much interchangeable. Brown rice noodle. It looks just like a regular noodle. It tastes good. It actually has a little bit more flavor to it, in my opinion. All right, I can just explain real quick. I'm using voice mod for my voice mod with the Stream Deck, and then, which you don't need, but it helps. And then TTS Monster for the Obama TTS. That was great, right? Absolutely awesome. Is it missing tofu balls? So she did a mushroom. It has shiso in it. That's a fantastic addition. She sliced up some shiso and put it in. It's mushroom and pork and yeah. I don't know what sauce she used. She makes her own shio koji, which is like she ferments her own like salt kind of thing. And she makes garlic koji and other things. So like that fermentation, very good for health and also just more natural. Voice mod for your, it's called voice mod. Like, what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say, you know? It does. It is very tasty. I don't want to be like those TikTok videos where they're like, check out my food and it falls off the plate, you know? So I'm always a little cautious. Have you seen those before? They made this really nice dish. I don't know. They're probably just doing it on purpose for the views, but they're like, show it and then it falls off and they're like, oh. Very nice setup. Thank you. Thank you. So generally on YouTube, mostly I do edited content. On Twitch, I do like IRL travel streams, and I usually either start or finish in the studio. And it started off with nothing, and actually the community has bought most of these figures. It was started as a joke, And now they don't stop coming. So now it looks like I'm a super weeb. I blame chat. I am kind of a weeb though, but like it's gotten worse now. There's just too many. But all this stuff came from like things along my adventures, which is really cool. Hey Polo, what's up? Happy adulthood birthday in Japan. Oh, it's not like it's 18-year anniversary. Actually, it is. I came here in June of 2007. June like 7th or June 6th, or it might have been July. I'll have to go back and check. There are 60, yes. We heard it like voice mod, so we put your voice mod on your voice mod.
We heard you like them voice mods. Make sure the voice mods go inside each and every. It's tired of voice mods.
Yeah. So they're not dolls. They are figurines. It honestly started as a joke where a friend of mine was like, he donated to the channel and said, buy that right now. And I'm like, but I don't want to. It's embarrassing. He's like, do it. I'm like, fine. I guess so. But I'm using the rest of the money for coffee and I don't know, whatever. Highballs. Fine. No, I'm not having a highball today. And so I bought that. It's up there somewhere. And then people got on. They thought it was hilarious. They started being like, oh, here, buy that one. They would send some money over and make me buy it. And I bought, and then I kind of got into it. I was like, I like them. They're, my wife was like, oh, you're going to stop eventually, right? Like, yeah, eventually. Then I bought a few on my own too. Because I just kind of thought it was fun. No, I haven't built her yet. So this one was, Austin bought this. This one I'm actually looking forward to because I haven't made a Gunpla in a while. It's a Gunpla, but it's also like a anime figure. So it's a combination of two things. I like building the Gunplas. Like this. I have a big collection of 7-Eleven Gundams. I actually love these a lot. This was very hard to track down. It was only like $6, but I checked on stream. I checked maybe total like 40, 50 different places looking for this. Well, no, on and off stream, I checked about 40, 50 different places. On stream, I don't know, maybe 30, 40. I don't know. Does YouTube have redeems like Twitch? Unfortunately, no. Sorry. It's one of the reasons I started focusing my streams on Twitch. I really enjoy that. The 8250 is not yet a Gunpla. Yeah, it hasn't been built yet, but I ordered the kit today so I can build it on stream maybe next week. Should we do that on a rainy day? I can build it off stream too, but I thought it'd be fun to build on stream while we're chatting and stuff. Not only was it hard to find Japan Ichiban, I found 3 of them. That was really hard. There's none left anymore. They all disappeared within like days. But I got 3. I'm gonna build one and keep the other 2. I really wanted 2 just so I could make sure I could build one, and then I was like, I'll keep the other one. I like having a collection of those. It's nice though, right? I like it too. Sorry, I keep eating in between. I was pretty hungry, so. And this, I was just gonna have like 1 bite, but damn, this is so good. Shoko makes amazing food. It's funny, I always say this, but when she first started cooking, it was absolutely not so good. I'm a terrible chef too, but her cooking was so bad. She never cooked really that much before. But her cooking is incredible now. Nothing she makes is bad. I showed some of you guys this on the last stream. This was my first Gunpla I built on stream. I've only built a few, really. That's a good one. This one is also really hard to find now. Hello Kitty Gundam. I think that's great. I'm only showing you because this is right here. I haven't put it back on the shelf. Practice makes perfect. Broke the hand. Oh no, it just came off. You put it all together as you build it, right? What a crossover. Isn't that nice? There was another one too. There was like, what's the green Gundam? Like the classic green Gundam. So I think it's a bad guy. There was one of those too, but I didn't want to make it. I was like, tracking down one was already hard. Hey, BTK, what's up? When are you two coming for dinner? I was thinking about that the other day, man. Zaku, yes, that's it. I was thinking about that the other day. We haven't been coming up there lately because we used to do like Noto, Kanazawa, Fukui, and then go home. Noto's just like wiped off the earth, and we just haven't. We've been really obsessed since Noto got Noto got destroyed. We've been obsessed with Matsumoto, which is like now our new favorite spot to go in Nagano. So we haven't been like coming up as far as your area lately, but I'm down, man. I should just come up there. Should we go to all the usual fun sites, or like go travel somewhere, or just hang at your house? Would you be down to join some streams, man? Oh, the arm came out again. There might be. Oh, I see. Okay. Matsumoto's my list for future spots. Nagano and Matsumoto together. Joey just came to Fukui. Joey who? But called it Ishikawa? Oh, I bet most people don't know they're actually in Fukui. If there's something to do. Oh, that Joey. Oh, yeah. You know, I've met him before. You know, I have his magnet on my fridge. He's a really nice guy. Yeah. They're actually separate on two different screens, but I have them together on my phone. So I'm trying to learn to use both. I'm looking at all three. Dr. Jelly, yeah. No, I know. Yeah, I know him. I know him. I did an event with him and Natsuki. Yeah, that was fun. That's when I got to know Natsuki pretty well. I talked with Joey a little bit, but not super much. But I had to talk a lot with Natsuki. That was fun. I love that dude. Natsuki loves to talk. He does. Do you wear anything but baseball cap? Who is this? There's a troll in chat. Who let this guy through? He should have been banned long ago. What's up, BTK? How you doing? I mean, B Teriyaki. I forgot we're on both platforms. You know, I was just joking. You don't have to. Part 1 question? Oh, okay. Which was what? What was the part 1 question? Let me know. If you're serious. He got a pen. He got a hammer pen. Natsuki and Ryotaro do a weekly live stream now. I saw something about that on his Instagram. That's pretty cool. I haven't met Ryotaro. I've met a lot of those people, but I haven't met Ryotaro yet. I'd like to meet him. Do you wear a hat when not on stream? Oh, I see. Yeah, I see it now. Yeah, sometimes actually. An SD cap? Haha. Like this one? If we get 9 more subs today, I'll switch to a SD hat just for you, buddy. There's another one in my room. Part 1, similar questions. Part 2, toothpick cap. Show that. That's a special one. Old school, yeah. Testing your dual chat alert attentiveness. Technically, they're both combined on this phone, so it would be easier. I think it'll be easier once I can get, because the chats are up here, but my phone's down here. If I could get this phone up here, or when I'm IRL, it'll probably be easier. I think, honestly, because I'll just read it through as one chat. I won't even know which platform it comes from. Today, I wanted to know so I could balance it better, but like when I try it tomorrow. Would you change hat if we got 9 memberships on YouTube? Yes, 100%. Absolutely. That would be pretty cool. Is it possible to get Yeah, you can. I was like, I forgot you can give memberships on YouTube. You can. Fungus did it before. All right. Have I covered it all? Okay. Now I'm bringing it up. The questions. It's kind of funny because every time I bring this up, someone asks a question, so I may never actually get to read from this list, but I will try. Oh wait, you should see it. I'll bring the other hat later, Ralph. But yeah, that one's great. This is stuck. Hey. There you go. Professional streamer here. How long have you been on? Yes, good. Bring the question. I've been on Twitch for 4 years. I was trying to make it bigger, but I kept pressing the wrong button. You see, of course I would make it. It would take the whole screen once I can actually. I just kept pressing the wrong button. I'm an idiot. My ice cream for tonight is matcha and white ice cream. It sounds good. Is it easier to get banned on Twitch or YouTube? Oh, good question. I've only been banned on one platform, and it wasn't my fault. So we'll just say that. One way to find out. But yeah, 4 years. I've been a partner for a little over a year. Now partner plus. Yay. I'm actually way more excited than that, but I didn't know how to say it. Do you miss cheese? Ooh, yeah. Cheese is not as present in Japan. If you're talking about my diet and not eating dairy, yes, sometimes, but not as bad as you would think. Once you don't have it for a while, you don't crave it so much. But from the perspective of cheese not being so great in Japan, then yeah, very easy apparently. Thanks for banning that guy. What a nuisance. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. Oh, I like that dude. That's funny. But yeah, if you're a huge fan of cheese, you'll find it very difficult to find like cheese as cheap and plentiful and variety here. One thing that was hard for me was I love going to a supermarket and going like to the deli section and getting them to slice up different types of meat for me and cheese, and then being able to make sandwiches with like 3 different types of meat, 2 different types of cheese, you know, like that's something I've loved my whole life, and they don't do that in Japan. Like sandwich meat is just prepackaged ham. And you can go to some places, some department stores, and they'll have like some maybe roast beef or something that might be slightly fresher, but it's not the same. Which, as a streamer, which platform is higher to you? Twitch is a little bit more strict on certain things. YouTube on others. Like, if you watch YouTubers that actually care about like keeping their content family friendly, they don't swear. I also don't swear anyways on stream, but you'll see a lot more people being careful about music and about language on YouTube compared to Twitch. But on Twitch, there are certain things that YouTube doesn't care about. So I think they both have their quirks. I managed to finish it almost. YouTube doesn't have DMCA. Oh, YouTube is so much worse. It will actually, if there's one song, like Twitch will usually just mute it, and then if YouTube will just say, "Oh, you can't monetize this entire stream," so you have to cut it, which is that's annoying. Yeah, but it's okay. If you guys are wondering why people are getting banned on YouTube or timed out, it's all community jokes. Don't worry. These are like friends of the channel that our mods are messing with. We don't have like a bunch of trolls here causing trouble. Although I guess we could call them a troll, you know. I've met some of these people in real life and stuff, so it's fine. It's just funny to do that. Yeah. Surely there's a market for a good cheese store in Tokyo. I do see like there are shops that carry more varieties of cheese. The problem is it's expensive because they're not just like pulling out wheels of cheese here. You know, they import everything. I don't think it would be great if they actually made various types of cheese fresh and sold it. And there may be a shop that does that in Tokyo. I just don't know about it. So I'm not looking for that kind of thing anymore. And a lot has changed. Shameless self-promote of Discord redeem. Okay. So if you are new to me live streaming, whether you're here on Twitch or on YouTube, I do have a Discord where I post my weekly schedules. I post events that are in your time and date, and I chat on there every single day, and I post photos when I'm offline and respond to questions and chat. And memes are there of me. Memes you can never unsee. Gonna wake up mini teriyaki. Have a good one, buddy. It's global cities where money can buy anything. It's true. True. If you have enough money, you can probably get whatever cheese you want. It'll be expensive though. Oh, thank you. There it is. I'm glad the commands are working now. Yeah. All right. We'll finally bring the questions sheet out. But again, feel free to ask, guys. It is an AMA. But also on the thumbnail is Luke. It's gonna answer the top 20 questions, so I'm gonna try. We answered number 1. What originally brought me to Japan? How long? Wow. Why did you stay so long? You know why I stayed so long. I met Shoko. And also, I love it here. Ooh, how fluent are you in Japanese? This question comes up so much. Yeah. If I'm being really honest about my Japanese ability, and don't let this discourage you guys, I would say that I understand a good deal of Japanese. I speak an okay amount of Japanese. I can read a decent amount. Answer in Japanese? No. No, stop it. No. Never. For a long time, speaking Japanese was very I don't know why, but I had a hard time speaking. I was so afraid of making mistakes and being judged for it. Maybe growing up in California and hearing people yell at people for not like, speak English, you're in America, and feeling like Japanese people are not like that at all. Japanese people get so excited if you say one word. If you're like, arigato, oh, you're so good at Japanese. And like, you can make tons of mistakes and they'll be so sweet about it. It's amazing. How and where or what program did you learn Japanese the best from? Well, so I decided to learn Japanese to take the JLPT. So I basically bought a bunch of books that were JLPT prep, and which is the Japanese language proficiency test, because having level 2 is like a basic one if you want to get out of teaching English and into a different industry, but having level 1 is amazing. So there's 5 levels. Level 2 is considered business Japanese. I still can't speak business Japanese, but 12 years ago or so I passed level 2 because I studied hard for it. But I think what I hear from chat is Duolingo is good. I hear there's a bunch of other good things. I'm a visual person and a paper person. So rather than use apps, I use a lot of flashcards to help me remember kanji and grammar. But I like books. There's a book that I had, I'll have to look it up, where it was a visual. It was like a person in a supermarket, and it had little things above everything, like the register, what is it called, the shopping cart, the prices, discounts, and then it would have it all and it would quiz you on it. And for me, that was a great book for learning to live in Japan, because it was all practical situations, being at an ATM, going to the gas station, going to a drugstore. And it was like, I would look at this before I go into that situation. I would take notes and I would practice it. And it was super helpful. And when I find, I'll check later. Remind me someone in Discord to check, and I'll post the link to the books. They were super awesome. As a visual learner, rather than a wall of text, I like having something to see to relate to. It's just how my brain works. I hear it 10 times a day. Speak English. You're in America. Yeah. My favorite one was in San Diego was always like, I don't speak Mexican. And it's like, well, no one on this planet does, because it's not a language. I think what you wanted to say was Spanish, but it happens so much. It's crazy. Like, I don't speak Mexican. Like, well, that's good. That's good you don't, because if you did, you'd probably be locked in an insane asylum because nobody would understand you. Yeah, no. But yeah, it's true. So honestly, I grew up there in a country like US, and I understand US is a melting pot of so many cultures. And if you grew up with English and you only know English, I feel like it might be frustrating when people can't speak English 100%, maybe. But from San Diego is a big, like, most of Middle America is like purely like American born and bred, but a lot of the coastal cities have more of a mix of people. California is actually less white people than other cultures, like other ethnicities. It's just, you know, really interesting. But I grew up as I was born a U.S. citizen, but I wasn't born in the U.S. And I grew up with both the U.S. culture and Asian culture, Indian culture, you know. And so that helped me to feel more understanding of people, I feel. But if you didn't have that, I can understand why you might feel frustrated if you're in a country. But try traveling. Try going to, so many of those kind of people come to Japan and they're like, speak English. It's like, no. If you want people to speak English in America, you should be speaking Japanese in Japan. They're actually they try very hard to speak English here and accommodate you. So be nice, you know. One letter off. Did I say something wrong? What? I don't get it. I have no idea what happened. Speaking Aztec, I just saw that. Oh. Post link to Oops, I just saw that. Now Streamlabs is going to remind me to post those links. Yeah. Amazing. That's great. Thank you. Wonderful. But yeah, I got really super sidetracked from the question, which I think was something about language. Oh no, that was the one that came up there, right? I'm not as good with Japanese as I'd like to be. That is 100% my fault. Part of it is, and I found this out recently, language is not a strong point in my family. My mom, being from India, learning several languages, and still was very much a struggle for her. I guess language just isn't in the brain for in my genetics, because I struggled. I took 5 years of Spanish in junior high and high school, and I still can't speak any of it. Language has always been tough for me. Even English, even like speaking in general, took me a long time. I didn't start talking till I was 3 or 3.5, and then I wouldn't shut up. But like I took a long time to just be able to speak. So I think language is tough for me to grasp already. Hey Vera, how you doing? We're doing a AMA here in the studio on YouTube and on Twitch. You know, speak good? That's impossible. Brian, what's up, man? We have a legend in chat here on YouTube, Ramen Adventures. A good friend of mine I have not seen in a while. Last time I was a little bit drunk, a lot bit drunk in Hakafane. But I hope you still had a good time. I had a good time. Not the next morning, but that night was great. We'll have to hang out again soon, man. That's awesome. Yeah, as a person we haven't seen in a while. Yeah. Are you no longer coming on Twitch anymore? Like, we miss you here, man. I miss popping by your streams. They're always fun. But yeah, going back to the language thing is I honestly, my sort of handicap with it aside, why I don't speak. We started with 1 liter highballs. That's how I usually start Nakabane night. I also started on like 2 hours of sleep, which never ends well for me. But happens far too often. But it was good. It was good. I hope everything was fine by the end. It's probably for the best the haunted bar was closed, honestly. I would have fallen asleep there. But it's a good place, so we gotta go sometime. It's a great spot. I did sleep some last night, on and off, but I was in bed for a long period of time, like 13 hours. I didn't sleep all of it, but I made sure to, like, after 7 hours of biking yesterday, I knew that I would need the physical rest. And I feel fine, like my legs are okay. But I'm going to the gym tonight, so that I didn't go last night. I took a break. So it's good. Oh, since I saw you last, Ramen, I've lost like 13 kilograms, and it's definitely my lifestyle has changed quite a bit. I don't know if you can tell compared to when you saw me last time, but yeah. The last 9 months especially, has been a massive change for me. Keep the muscles intact for tomorrow. Well, I will make sure to rest a lot. He speaks with the utmost eloquentness. Don't let him tell you differently. That's right.
I am the most, if not the greatest, most eloquent spoker ever.
Going to bed when I finish work. Yes, I'm after the gym, I'll go to bed fairly soon after I get like I'll build the bag and get everything ready. But do you have children? Good question. I do not. It's not a personal choice, really. It's more of a thing where, like, when we got married, we decided not to worry about, we let it up in the air. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We tried really hard in the very beginning, like, like going to the doctors and things like that. And we're just, after that, we're like, you know what? We'll let it happen if it happens. We're not going to force it. So whether it happens or not, who knows? But I'm already 43. She's 45. So risks increasing. We feel like it might not be a good idea. Like, I think every year we get more to the point of being like, maybe it's better we don't. Just enjoying the stream and the chat energy. So many cool conversations happening. Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying. Thank you, TNT is everywhere. Appreciate that. Yeah. A Kobe. But we have 2 dogs. That kind of like, yeah. We have 2 dogs, Kobe and Gia. If you're on the YouTube side, there's a video. There's a few videos with them, like dog. What's it like having a dog in Japan? Or more recent one was a dog theme park where everything's dog friendly and it's really cool. I like that video a lot, actually. Especially when I did donuts in a golf cart and Choco freaked out. You can see her, she's like grabbing my arm and like, ah! Yeah, dogs are like children, except we can abandon them at any time. It's really nice. For like, we'd be like, we'll spend a day, la la la, let's go have fun here. And come back and like, okay, we'll take you for a walk and spend time with you guys. It's kind of nice to have days where we can just do like, we can go on dates without babysitters, stuff like that. The duck muzzler for dogs, yep. 43, do you dye your beard? I do not, actually. I do get occasional gray hairs, but since I trim my beard I don't pull them out or cut them or anything. When I trim my beard quite short, and so I don't actually, like, if you look real close, I might have like one, but it's I swear it happens when I'm stressed, because when I shave it, it doesn't come back. My hair, as though you don't see it, I know, but my hair is black as well. I have a couple grays on the side sometimes, but not all the time. It's weird. I really think it comes from stress. And then if I'm like chill and more, and also I think I was getting more before I started eating healthier, so maybe that helped. I don't know. Yeah, that's funny, right? I didn't even think about that. Why? If you grow facial hair, do you get grays now, Ramen? That's wild. If you guys don't know Ramen Adventures, he does a lot of great ramen content. He's been doing it for a very long time. Used to do it on Twitch. That's how I got to know him. But are you still making videos? I haven't been watching my friends on YouTube lately. I think you're Silver. That's sexy. Don't shout him out here. He doesn't even do Twitch. I just shout him out on well, there you go. That's fine. Maybe he'll come back one day. Secretly bald against the hat. Everyone thinks that. And my wife I've taken my hat off on stream, but it's like it's a very special occasion. People are typically disappointed. I've taken my hat off for people too, and they're just like, oh, that's it. They all expect some grand reveal. Pete was disappointed. He's just like, oh, okay. Quite a few people were just like, oh, you have hair. It's like, yes, I do. Less than I used to, but still plenty. Thankfully, but I don't know how long that'll last. I think probably by next year. I always say this, but probably by next year I'll just need to shave my head completely. In 18 years, have you ever had a near-death experience in Japan? Funny stories only. I got besides the time I had oysters with you and almost died, and you were fine. Damn it. It is food poisoning related. I got salmonella. And I've never been so sick in my life. Nothing I've ever had. I'm talking COVID, flu. Nothing has ever come close to how bad I watched the news a little bit when I was I was in the bathroom, like on the floor, just like cold and dying. And the news was on, and they were like, "Oh, there's these cases of E. coli going around where people actually die from liver failure." And I was like, "That's probably me, because I've never been so sick in my life." And then my boss called and like, "So you took yesterday off? Are you coming in today?" I was like, "No, I can't. I might not be coming back ever. Like I can't get up." And she's like, "Well, have you seen a doctor?" I said, "I tried 10 times, but I can't. I get halfway down my stairs and I have to run back up to the toilet and like throw up. I don't even have anything left to throw up, but my body just keeps making me do that." And she's like, "Well, if you don't see a doctor, you're not really sick." You can fire me if you want, but I'm not. I can't. I cannot get out of my house. I've tried, but I will try as soon as I can, and I will come in as soon as I can. I promise you. I'm not like. I'm not saying. I'm not. Oh yeah. I'll get to that in a second. Scar story. Yeah, that's probably the. Okay, that's the real one. Anyways, work was fine. I finally saw a doctor. He gave me a note. My boss had to grudgingly accept that I was on death's door, and I didn't get in any trouble. I couldn't do anything. Okay, yes. So the scar story. So since I met you last, Brian, I actually have a fat scar under my eye. I don't know if you can really see it, but I was going kind of hard. Actually, this might have been right shortly after I met you. Yeah, this might be shortly after I met you. Yeah, long story short, I had a week of kind of stuff like I honestly think it was after that. We had our Akabane like DGen night, and then I went out like 3 other nights that week. I had so many things with people that week for some reason. And so I was like lacking sleep, definitely riding a hangover till Sunday or something, or Monday or whatever, like a day before. And I just like not eating, not sleeping. I didn't drink that day when I got the scar. They even tested they thought, oh, he must have gotten drunk. So they tested my blood and they're like, oh, 0 alcohol. So he's fine. I was like, told you, you bastards. But I was like, you should have seen the other guy. That's what Pete said. That's exactly what he said. Yeah, I was fine. It was like 1 a.m. I was getting ready for bed, and I was folding laundry, and I was like, I have some dirty clothes, like in the dirty clothes bin thing. I was like, all right, let me take those downstairs. I stood up, and the next thing I know, I woke up on the floor, covered in blood all over my face, and I had no idea what had happened. And the TV show I was watching was like the next episode. I don't know how much time had passed. I apparently had just lost consciousness out of pure exhaustion. And I was lucky I had a metal jagged edged dumbbell weight sitting right here, and I smashed my face fully on it when I crumpled like a noodle. So chipped the teeth, broke my nose, scar, huge gash, a little bit up and I would have lost my eye 100%. So yeah. Oh, you met me after the fell down? Really? It was after? Oh, maybe it was. That's not lucky at all. Actually, Shoko and I were talking about it. It was really lucky. If I was going downstairs. If the pass out had happened 2 seconds later, I would have fallen down the stairs. I might not be able to walk. I don't know. Who knows what would have happened? Falling down my stairs. My stairs are right here. Once I go out the door, my stairs are like right here. So I stood up. I stood up here, passed out here. If I had stood up, walked 2 steps, and then passed out, history. Also, if the metal weight wasn't here, I would have slid along the carpet, probably, and like smashed my head into the dresser. I could have easily gotten paralyzed that way too. I walked away with just a scratch. I feel like I'm fine. Maybe some brain damage. I don't know. Yeah, that is lucky after all. I think it is. I honestly think it is. I feel very fortunate that it worked out that way. I probably did stand up too quick. I mean, the doctors did all these tests and I was fine. Story of how the boo was covered for protection too. Oh yeah, so the ambulance came and my wife was a little worried that she'd have to show them where I had the accident. So just in case, she threw t-shirts over the anime girls because she didn't want me to be embarrassed. So yes. Didn't want me to be embarrassed, of course. Glad she did that for me. I'd be fine. I'm sure they've seen way worse things on a monthly basis. It wasn't this much last time. There was half as many last time too. And they were all like around the couch and the down here. So she wasn't like covering the TV. They weren't up here yet. I mean, I'd be a little embarrassed, but I wouldn't be like, oh my God, my life is over. They're going to go tell all their friends. I mean, what does it really matter? Smart lady. Yeah. Anyways, that was in September. I think you're right. I think I met you shortly after then, probably, huh? That would have been the most awful thing they've seen ever. Hardened medical professionals. Can you imagine if they didn't come upstairs, but can you imagine if they had come upstairs and been like, oh, it's this kind of person? I don't know if I want to... Can you guys call a different ambulance? Because this is just too much for us. Look at all these figures. Oh my God. Oh my God. There's no way. Wait. We're getting on the, where is it?
Yeah, we're gonna need another ambulance here ASAP.
Sorry. I just had to try that one. I rarely use it, but it's fun. This could happen in India. Really? Well, maybe. Yeah. Could, I guess. So you're saying that translates directly to good luck and bad luck. Kind of similar to blessing in disguise. Yeah, it makes sense. Since then, I've been a lot more careful in my life. Like, when I feel that exhaustion coming on, or I feel like I'm not taking as good care of myself, I take the time to take care of myself, you know? That's why I canceled the stream last Wednesday. I was really hurting from working out, but I was also starting to feel that way again, and I was like, better to take a break. It you know, it helped. I was still pretty wiped out on Friday, but at least it was better, you know? The figures, well, look, we are too late for this one. Yeah, they're zipping the bag up over me. Yeah, this one's already dead. I'm like, but ambulance guy, I'm still alive. I'm just bleeding from my face. Can you? They're like, nope, he's dead. That's just gas escaping, you know? That one time you fell into a ditch of snow. Oh, yeah. I wonder if the command will work on YouTube. Hold on, we're here. Will it work? What's it called? 15K? Was that it? Or Fukui? I guess... Oh, that one works. So maybe it was 15K house. So, I made a video with Dela all over... Oh, there it is. It's just slow. The 15K... He has a house he bought for $15,000, and his house is really cool. So if you want to see it, go check it out. It's actually pretty neat. 18 years, you're here for good now, buddy. Congrats. I think so. You know, as long as I don't get into any trouble. I'm not a nuisance streamer, so I'm not out there. Although I really want to cover a whole thing about how nuisance streaming has affected streaming for me, including yesterday's incident. Like, I feel like people are starting to see us, streamers in general, in a negative light, where they saw us a lot more positively before. So it's unfortunate, but that's just how it is. The other video, Fukui, unfortunately, I guess isn't must be under a different name or isn't set. But that was also an adventure that Dela took me on. It was a lot of fun. India's a very judgmental society. So yeah, my mom luckily was not. I think the way she grew up was a little bit different, right? She was not so judgmental. I always appreciated that. She didn't have the super judgmental mom style. Yeah, if it doesn't work here, it's not going to work on YouTube. I think I don't have it. Sorry, I had one more bite left of Shoko's awesome pasta. The second serving? Oh, that was plenty for me, although I might steal some after the gym. I think I might. All right, shall we pull up the question board? If you guys have any questions, definitely fire them away. Until then, I'll keep going through the question board. The top 20 questions the internet wants to know from someone who lives in Japan for over 18 years. And that is... What's the biggest culture shock you experienced when you first arrived? Ooh, that's a tough one. Biggest... What about for you, Brian? What happened with the neighbors? For the $15,000 house video? Or my neighbors? I was talking about them earlier already. Culture shock for me came... I think the work culture stuff was really surprising to me at first. Like, I got influenza and they still wanted me to come into work. Because it wasn't 100%, but my girlfriend had it and was 100%. She got tested, and when they tested me, the doctor said it's too early to tell because you came in as soon as you felt symptoms, but we're pretty sure you have it if you're having flu symptoms, but I can't say it's flu. I told them that, and they said, and my boss was like, well, since it's not exactly flu, can you still come in and like do your lessons? And I said, I have a fever, I'm dying, and I'm pretty damn sure I have the flu. And the doctor said he's sure I have it. We just don't have the test won't give a result that quickly. And she's like, well, how about just coming in for the afternoon lessons? I'm like, no, I can't. Like, I'm sorry, but I can't. And then when I did go in, like after I recovered, which I wasn't even fully recovered, but they kept insisting I come back in. I was like, hey everyone, good to see you. Sorry about that. And, let's get on with the day and I'll do my best. And then the boss like started crying and I was like, what happened? And she's like, you don't know how hard it was for me to cover your schedule, but you came in here with a smile. You should have been like really apologetic and really upset. I'm like, that kind of stuff was really hard for me to accept because it was like, no, I was sick. I was dying. Like I was really dying. Like I didn't just casually call in sick. Like I really felt awful. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry it caused you trouble. That was never my intention, Or that accept an employee to work until everyone is done and slot of overtime. Yeah, it depends on the company. Most of the time I worked for companies that understood that we don't work that way. Yeah, I was surprised a lot about the overtime that people would do, though. Yeah, imagine demanding an apology. Yeah, I was trying to be energetic and happy because that's like, as a teacher, that's what you should do. And I came in and I was like cracking jokes with the coworkers and stuff and trying to be like happy. And she just was so upset with me. Like I did apologize and I thanked them for taking care of me, but she wanted more. Yeah, no. That's not helpful at all. Sorry. Yeah. So basically I think the work stuff was most surprising for me. Or I'm trying to think culturally what was tough. Oh, I guess like. Oh, okay. A lot of things that I wanted to say thank you for, people say sorry for in Japan. I know it's a small thing, but like if somebody holds the door, like for me, I'd be like, arigato gozaimasu. But it's kind of weird. You should be like, sumimasen. So you're like, sorry for the trouble that you had to hold the door open for me. It's almost the same kind of thing, the apology side. I felt really strange that a majority of the time you're using sorry even to appreciate somebody. And I understand that now, having lived here. But it took some time to adjust that in my brain. Like, I'm thankful that they did this. No, you're sorry for the inconvenience you caused them. And that is a little thing that I feel is a nuance that takes some time to get used to. Work 60 hours a week, so you should. Yeah. Shoko, my wife is dealing with this right now. Is like, there's a higher up member of her company who's like, oh, you shouldn't take time off. You shouldn't use your holidays. You should work hard. And you should work till like midnight. That's what I used to do. It's like, no. That's not, there's something called work-life balance, but you're not working till midnight because you're getting things done. You're working till midnight to clock out late. Yeah, it's different. If you're actually productive, cool, but they're not productive. They dally around and they do like stupid things sometimes to kill time until like a late time, so it looks like they're good workers. But better to just do your job and leave. Why you came to Japan and to do what? I came to Japan to to chew. Was it chew bubble gum and kick ass? And I'm all out of bubble gum. No, oh my God, he's had too much tea. No, I think I really simple because I did answer this question already, so I'll answer it like kind of short. I came to Japan originally. Just my ex was coming here for a year studying abroad. I was coming here to try living abroad for a year before I got settled into a career back home, and it'd be harder to do that kind of thing. And I also really liked my trip to Japan, and I thought it'd be a great place, and I wanted to try teaching. I honestly came here. I didn't come here as a teacher to get in. I came here because I wanted to teach, and I wanted to see if teaching was something I'd like to do, and maybe I'd pursue that back home. I was also thinking to open a language. I worked at a language school in San Diego for years, And I also thought about opening my own and stuff, and like teaching at it while working at it. And I had all these things flying through my head. Second time I came back, I was working for Sony before I left, and they offered put the spot in their translation division if I came back fluent. So I thought I'd come here and study, go back and work for Sony, things like that. Travel Japan some more without my awful ex this second time, and not in Japan, it's different. This is their culture. No, and I get that. I totally get that. Duke Nomadum. I came to marry Shoko. I did not expect to meet someone here. When I came back the second time, so the first time I was with my ex, she was terrible. When we went back, we broke up. I went back for her, and we broke up. And then I was like, you know what? Screw this. I didn't get to. She would get angry at me for spending time with my friends or having a good time. So I always felt like I was very limited. If I wasn't with her, then I wasn't allowed to have fun. Then she was very, very controlling. So if I like went somewhere and had a good time and I didn't text her the entire time, she would be pissed. And then she'd be angry. If I had like nice photos of a good time, she's like, can't believe you went there without me. Even if I was by myself, like just, yeah. So I had Mondays off and she had school and work and stuff Mondays. So what am I supposed to do? Like just stay home all day and not travel Japan. So anyways, the second time I was like, I don't want to be in a relationship. I just want to travel and explore and have a good time. So I was like very anti-dating anyone for a while. Work on myself, travel, study Japanese. Then if I meet someone, maybe sell it. Then I met Shoko about 9 months into that. Didn't expect to, even when we met, I still was kind of like, oh, I'm just looking for friendship. I'm not looking to date in my mind. But we couldn't stop talking every single day. And then she actually asked me out, which was really sweet. And then we went on a date. And it was great. And after that, we haven't been apart since, really, for 16 years. So, yeah. It was not expected. I didn't come here to meet a Japanese woman and settle down. I was planning to go back home to San Diego and build my life there. I just wanted to spend some time in Japan traveling. And I also not the kind of person who just wants to casually have like light relationships or just hookups. I'm more of like a love or nothing kind of guy. So I was really not looking to date when I met Shoko, but she was too amazing. I could not I couldn't not date her. Find the one when you least expect it. And you know what, that's the thing. Like, I had friends come over here and they're like, I really want a Japanese girlfriend. And they'd like strike out time and time again. I come here and I'm like, I don't want a girlfriend. I don't want any girlfriend, Japanese or anyone. I don't want a girlfriend. I just want to like live my life. I've been in relationships for the last like 10 years. I just want to like live my life. Not 10 years, but I was 25. Yeah, it's the last like 8 years, something. I want to live my life and learn myself and become a better human being. And then I'm ready. So I got 9 months to do that. But, thank you very much. Welcome in. Appreciate the, I believe, it's been a while. I believe that's a YouTube sub. Thank you so much for subbing. I appreciate that. This is my first live stream in a long time. I typically do edited content of travel in Japan, but I will start doing more live streams. It's been really fun. Oh, is a Twitch follower alert? Oh, yeah, my bad. I got confused. Wait, nobody's followed on YouTube? Why? Or someone has and the alert hasn't gone through. Sorry. Okay, no, I stream on Twitch all the time, so I should know that. I should know the different alerts. They sound different. It was 100% a Twitch follow alert. It's a different alert for YouTube. Just, let's go back 10 seconds and forget I said that. Benji, thank you for the follow here on Twitch. I appreciate it. I'm learning to split my brain. It's hard. I apologize. Just this is the first time I've ever dual streamed. First time. So I'm trying to like separate it in my head. I think pretty much it's like 95% Twitch and 5% YouTube. And most people on YouTube are people who are also here on Twitch. There's a few people that are on YouTube that aren't on Twitch. I struggle with just Twitch streaming. Yeah. That's why I avoided this for so long. I didn't want to make my life complicated, but at the same time, life has become so like tough. I used to make time for a weekly live stream for YouTube, but I just don't have time for it anymore because I I'm trying to get the podcast and the edited content back, and I do voice acting as well. And then I also want to spend time with my family, my friends, and I do events as well. I go to events and things, so something had to give. So dual streaming was a chance for me to be able to bring some of the cool places I go to on Twitch to YouTube as well, and interact with the community there, which I thought would be fun. Might be only on YouTube. You don't know. It's true. It's true. I didn't have a clue. I thought Twitch was for my son's age range. So it's really interesting. But actually, it probably started off that way. But a lot of the people in my community that are on Twitch and on my Discord and stuff, they're actually like, in the 30s, 40s. There are some that are older than me. There's a lot of 20s as well. But yeah, it's not for kids. It's pretty good. It's really interactive. It's a lot of fun. A lot of milestones we celebrate over there. Plus we have the channel points and stuff. It's a different culture though at first. So like when you move over, it's not as bad now. When I first came over, people were doing, it was all the inside Twitch stuff. There was so much of that monkas and all that. I had no idea what people were talking about. I feel like it's a lot less like that now. 44, usually a Twitch viewer. Ozzy Danny is also a Twitch streamer, so that lets you know that like there's no age range really. I follow this one guy who's like 60 or 70. I can't remember how. He's quite old on Twitch, and he's actually really entertaining. People watch from Twitch. Do ads pop up automatically? I have YouTube Premium here. So Twitch has something like YouTube Premium, which is called Twitch Turbo. But alternatively, if you subscribe, like members on YouTube, if you subscribe or someone gives you a sub on Twitch, you don't get commercials. So on YouTube, if you're subscribed as a member or get gifted a membership, you still get commercials. So you can do like the whatever dollars a month to nix the ads, or you subscribe. If you're only watching like a few channels, you can just subscribe to those and support the creator directly. If you're watching many channels, Turbo's probably better on the financial end. Apologize for what nothing happened last 20 seconds. Exactly. See, I like where you're coming from. I'm so oblivious when people say that. I'm like, but wait, something actually, You mean Rob CD? He is pretty old, huh? I'm older than Rob, right? I must be. I wish you could combine chat for viewers too. You can. I think there are apps out there where you can combine chats as a viewer. Yeah. I wish I could do it and share it with you guys, but I just can't because of the rules. Maybe one day Twitch will change the rule, and then I can just have both chats on screen side by side. That'd be really great. That's Petey's okay. From your experience, have you ever seen females ever browse the figurine section? Yep. Plenty of times. Young and old. Not as common as men, but yeah. Rob is 29. Damn, dude, he's young. Damn, he's been streaming for like 10 years. He's been streaming since like 19. That's crazy. As a pop Twitch has yeah, there you go. Twitch has also a turbo thing. It's like YouTube Premium, really more effective, really, because no ads at all. Oh yeah, you can also do that. That's also a nice thing. If you have Amazon Prime, you can use that. You can sub to one person for free. Oh, there you go. So if you're interested in ever checking out, because a majority of content will be on Twitch, but like highlights will be on YouTube, but I stream 10 hours at a time, like traveling around Japan. So driving somewhere and then biking somewhere will probably be on Twitch, and then on both platforms, a place that I visit will be there. And then when I'm like driving or going somewhere else, but will probably just be on Twitch. So Twitch is like living my life day to day, and then YouTube will be like showcasing one particular place or two. That's how I plan to use the dual streaming. I could dual stream everything, but then we'll have 10 hours. I don't know if YouTube is good for IRL. I don't know. What do you guys think? I was thinking to try it out in bursts and see how it works rather than just dump 10 hours, Better for highlights and VODs, but people usually go to Twitch for the live stream. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, you can actually use Prime. So every month you can use one Prime sub for free, and then you won't get commercials on that channel. So if you wanted to use that for me, I get some income. You don't spend anything, but you don't get commercials when you watch. It's really cool. I'm always very honored when someone uses their Prime sub on me because honestly, you get just one. So I appreciate that you use it. Those that use it on my channel, thank you. Anime Wings, thank you for coming in today. It is this is a dual stream. It's kind of wild. It's been a lot of fun. I really appreciate everyone being so amazing and understanding and supportive, because I thought that this would be, I was excited for it, but kind of dreading it because I didn't know how it was going to be. But it's been a lot of fun. So good to see you. I think YouTube might be risky with IRL unedited because there's... Oh yeah, that's true. Sorry. Yeah, going back. That's why one of the reasons I decided. I thought a lot about this in the bathtub the other day. This is where I do a lot of my thinking and watching cameraman Paul apparently is in the bathtub. or Pete. Or who else do I watch typically when I'm in the bath? Who's streaming usually? It's usually Paul or Pete. Almost always. That sounds wrong, but I just like to watch Twitch when I'm in the bathtub. Yeah, special events. For example, I'm going to climb the 600 steps to Tokyo Tower. Possibly. If this is going well at IRL, keep it to that. Yeah. If this is going well at IRL, I might try this, and I'm feeling okay enough Saturday, I might try the steps, because there's also something else going on in the same area that night, so it might be perfect to work out a short stream there. But yeah, I think the shorter is better. I've seen Paul call you out for that. He's like, you must be in the bathtub if you're chatting now. Yeah. But the point is, the reason why I'm doing the dual stream is I did want to make this more accessible for people that don't use Twitch. And because I do have some viewers that only come to the live streams if I do them on YouTube. And I used to do them like a couple times a month. Used to do them once a week, twice a week. Now I do them like once. Yes, yeah, I'm friends with a lot of content creators. So yeah, I know cameraman Paul. When was it? I was playing darts with him and he wasn't drinking for like 2 months, I think, or 3 months. So then he didn't have any drinks. But yeah, I hung out with them fairly recently. Yeah, I don't know, most Japan creators, I should say. Not all of them, but I know most of the Japan creators. I just hide under the radar and pretend like I'm not one of them. Like, you'll never tell by my numbers, but he's helped me get set up with my IRL stream. Oh, that's nice. Oh, right on. I helped him a little bit with his. Mostly he did it on his own, but he just had a couple of times he had questions. And before he started doing his IRL, he used to watch mine some, but then he's been doing I got some ideas from him as well. So like last time we talked about routers and cameras and stuff. It was a mutually helpful conversation. Appreciated that. Don't know him personally though. Yeah, and that's cool that he helped you with the setup. So you're doing IRL in Japan or you're doing IRL somewhere else? Paul is a cameraman to large content creators based in Japan. Yeah. How do you feel about Nomad Push taking half your name? Of course it was irritating, but I know he didn't do it on purpose because he doesn't know who I am. But it's still irritating to have someone with part of my name in their thing, and also wildly more successful. Oh, that's a really good question. Is it true that if you're a Western girl traveling alone in Japan, guys will be creepy on the street? So in general, no. Honestly, in general, no. But why your friend might have that is there are places that you shouldn't go as a single female, Western female, because there's guys there whose job is to recruit women into their like girls bars, and they will be extremely creepy. I had a friend who lived in a station that had a bunch of those, and she had to deal with them all the time. And she was a pretty tall and pretty like strong woman. She would just like be like, get out of my face. And she got used to it, but she said it's pretty annoying. She'd have to deal with it quite often, especially weekends. But if you avoid those areas, you're fine. You're safe. Even like dark alleyways are safe. But there's just certain places where there's great. I mean, going around like areas with super drunk guys, you might see more of that attention, like, you know, drinking alleyways stuff. But you can still. They're not aggressive, typically. Like you say no, no is no. The aggressive ones are those hosts. They're doing it for their job, so they can recruit Luke. Sure, why not? Oh yeah, they have that in like Shinjuku, Shibuya. Honestly, just go away from Shinjuku and Shibuya for one. They're overpriced, watered down drinks, overcrowded, lots of those scam places. Go to like there's so many better areas to do nightlife or exploring in Tokyo and Japan in general. Yeah. I'll have to make an account and use my Prime on Gaijin. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Real simple. Let me know it's you when you're there if you have a different name. I'd appreciate that. The sunrise streams are perfect timing. Oh yeah, especially if you have kids in school because they usually start. Yeah, so I do a sunrise stream once a week or every 2 weeks, and those streams I start at like 3 a.m. Japan time, 3:30 a.m. yesterday, and I stream till about 2 p.m. I want to do it. I want to try to do them every week, honestly. Makes sense. Same as any country, I guess. Some areas stay clear from. I would say in general, Akabane, you won't have any problem. Unless you walk by the no, even there is fine. Akabane, you're fine. I feel like it's safer in Japan to travel as a one person, male or female, than it is to travel in a lot of other countries. Not everywhere, but it's in a lot of other places. Figure whilst I'm traveling, it's a good way to share with. Oh, hold on. In Japan, figure while traveling, it's a good way to share with my family, especially because I can't edit, so I just end up with a massive backlog of content. Yep, I can edit, but I also have a backlog of content because I just don't have time. I run this brand as one man, so I have to do my social media. I have to do Twitch edited content, shorts, reels, right? I stream for like 50 hours a week, probably, if not more. And then I also do voice acting when I have gigs, which actually has been pretty light lately, luckily. I mean, I want to do more, but it's actually been a good timing to have with some other things going in life. Plus, I have a house and dogs to take care of and car to maintain. A wife, wonderful wife to spend time with. There's not enough hours in a week, really. What is it about what they are doing? Pretty much just trying to get people to go to their bars. Sometimes scams, like $100 drinks, things like that. I've heard about those. Yeah. Okay. Oh, hey. I know how to deal with people here abroad. It's harder to read people. That's true. It can also be harder, but it's not so bad in Japan. A firm no is pretty strong. From experience, if you wear quite revealing things, old Japanese guys tend to stare. Have a friend experience that, but mostly you are very safe. And staring is not the same as like being creepy or accosting, you know? How you doing, Starkilla? On your way home? Wait, are you just left Rotterdam today? Actually, it's not that late. It feels like PremierCon was ages ago, but it's really not that late. It's just 2 days ago. Yeah. Yeah. I actually, do you guys remember I had I'm staring at you right now. What's up, Eric? How you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. Hope you had it. I don't know if you streamed today, but if you did, I hope it went well, buddy. I'm doing some testing myself. This is quite a challenge, but it's been fun. I'm trying to do YouTube and Twitch at the same time. It was actually pretty manageable now. At one point, it was really hard, but it was also like reminds me of the Reddit days. So it was a lot of fun. Just left Rotterdam a couple hours ago. Hey, I love that hound emote. So sad that I missed Rotterdam, but really glad I caught it last year. Yeah, and I'm really glad you guys sent me pictures too, so I got to feel like a little bit like I was there, you know? I was like, I remember that place. Yeah, but what event was I celebrating recently? I went to Takasaki. Oh, it wasn't an event. I just went to Takasaki, right? After that stream, this lady approached me. I was looking for her food, right? And she came up and she's like, Masaji? Real cheap? And I was like, no, I'm good. She kept asking, and I had to be like, no, I don't want it. Please leave me alone. Yeah, so that happens actually even to guys, but they're, again, if you're firm, they're not gonna like be ultra creepy. It's just annoying. And it's only certain areas, you know. How long is the travel for you? Like, Ian Con was pretty awesome. Well, I've been going to Ian Con for years, so I don't mind that too much. I don't feel like I missed out too much on that. At this point, I would say Chris and Pete probably, they know Ian really well and they spent a lot of time with them, but none of them knew him when I knew him. So like they know now Ian better, but I know past Ian better. And we do still hang out quite a bit. So private Ian cons. I do. Used to have more. It's been hard lately. Oh, chanting Ian. They did that last year. Yeah. Ian. It's really good that they they recognize, you know. He works so hard. So if you guys watch Abroad in Japan, or if you watch Sea Dog VA and they see their big trips, my friend Ian is the person who like sets all that up, and not sets it up. They do obviously they do a lot of work on their own, but he does a lot of coordination with travel, especially like what destinations to go, or like how to get from point A to point B, especially for cyclothons and stuff, for them to be able to ride safely the best route, and avoid like dangerous obstacles, hills as much as possible, things like that. He puts a lot of effort into it, and he doesn't ask for any credit. I mean, he gets paid, but he doesn't ask for any credit. Official boat, car driver, organizer, back-end organizer. Yeah, that would be a good way to explain it. Have you ever gotten involved in any festivals? There's a festival called Taiko Matsuri in Ehime. I've never been to that one. Trying to bring in more foreigners. Ehime is quite far. I'll be in Kansai end of July for a video game conference. I don't know if I'd have time, but I'm bringing I come by car. I don't know when your festival is though, but it's just Ehime is just so far. I've been twice by car. It's takes a long time. It's well worth it, but I have to balance it with my schedules and stuff. End of October. You know what? I'm probably going to Kyushu, but I might be back before end of October. Ian can drive anything. He really can. That's cool though. I'd love to do that. Reference P. Oh, thank you for putting the reference. Sorry. Yeah. I was about to explain that, but I'm pretty. He did the research for General Welsh. Often organizes where they eat and sleep. Yeah. I can't do that for myself. How many times I don't eat on stream, and I just sleep in my car. If you're down in Kansai around that time, I can drive you, but only if you're comfortable with that. Oh, that's not the problem. The problem is time. You know what I mean? Like, so, like I just have a quite busy schedule. So I'm taking like a week out to do a Bit Summit in Kyoto for 2 days. Then I'm going to go to Osaka for a couple days. Then I was going to go to Wakayama and Mie and then go back home. If I come out to Ehime, then I would want to take another week so I don't feel rushed. If I can work that in the schedule, cool. But it might be hard because going into, that's end of July, and in August I have a trip to like Hokkaido, or at least up to Aomori by car, local road, the longest road in Japan, the 4. I'm really excited to do that. Then I have a big trip that goes through to, but it's a tour that I'm doing, so I can't like branch off from it. Osaka and Hiroshima, and then going back. Then I want to go back to Hokkaido and go like hit up all the treasure hunting spots. I have so many things this year, but I mean, I'll let you know when I'm down there, and I'll see if there's a chance I can split down there. It really depends when the 4 trip is. I'm so excited for that. Meet 2 people who can help get to the destination. Yeah, that always helps. Personal tours you do? I have one at the end of the month. I do have my own tours that you can reserve through my website. I really have only done a few. It's just like you get me for a couple hours to take you to various sites and be your guide. It's a lot of fun for me, and I think people who've done them have enjoyed them. Oh, best bars in Osaka. I did not answer that. My friend works at one called, what is it called? Is it Shaka Bar? That one's really fun. She's awesome. She's a streamer. She's really awesome. And the vibe there is cool. They're playing like retro music videos on a projection screen. It looks nice. They got great drinks, good vibe, good energy. Shaka Bar, yeah. Other than that, I don't really know many bars in Osaka. Mostly hit up. I'm more of an izakaya guy. Because izakaya is like good food, good drinks, meeting people. Bars is like primarily alcohol, and I love alcohol, but I like to eat, drink, and be merry. I love izakayas. Yeah. Pretty much, that's like my thing. Saved it to the list. Yeah, go visit it. It's like, it's weird when you go because it's in some like tiny little building, and it looks like you're in an office building for a little bit. And then you open the door and you're not sure it's that, and then you go in and everyone's just awesome. So the girl that works there, her name is Hazu Nuts. She's her name is Hazu, but Hazu Nuts, right? I doubt that's her real name, but on Twitch. So you can always check her there, and then you can visit her at that bar. I don't know if she's always there, but maybe you can coordinate a good time to visit when she is. Tell her Nomadic sent you. She'll get a kick out of it. Always feel super sketched. Yeah, that's true. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. Yeah. What was your Twitch again? Hazu Nuts. Is it Nuts with an S or a Z? I always forget. I just call her Hazu. I'm sure Travel knows. I can't remember S or Z. PC Retro Space or Executive Order 66. No. There it is. Thank you. With an S. Got it. What was the other question? Sorry. Shirahama. Okay. Hold on. I have to mute this because YouTube can't see. Oh, no, wait. Can they see it? Oh, they can see it. Okay. I wasn't seeing it on the YouTube thing. But yeah, as long as they can see it, it's fine.
I'm gonna put a dressing.
Also, maybe be careful shouting at Hazu when I'm on YouTube.
On the cabbage.
Maybe.
Yeah, I hope no one realizes.
Yeah. Let's try not to do that. Be careful who we shout out when I'm on YouTube. No. We're good. Yeah, it's okay going forward. So some of my friends, Twitch is a little more lenient with content compared to YouTube on certain things, and sometimes the clips are a little bit sketch. My clips that show on my channel are wholesome, typically, but yeah, it's all good. It's not. I didn't think about it either, Travel. I was happy you shouted her out until it happened, so it's all good. Now, how you have a recommendation pop up like that? Oh, there is that one clip. Yeah, well, that's not on my channel, so it's fine. it's on Pete's, so it's okay. Yeah, 60% of my clips is just me swearing. Yeah, I'm just gonna turn shoutouts off when I'm dual streaming. It's probably for the best. I'll thank you guys for hitting the tourist thing on YouTube. Yeah, any other questions come up, I will answer them. But until then, I'm gonna reach to the handy dandy questions from the internet. This is what AI thinks people want to know if I have been in Japan for. Yeah, Twitch mechanism, not the bot. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Thanks, Travel. Oh, actually, it's already time. Damn. What do you love? Wait, what is? Okay, how has Japan changed since you first moved here? Ooh, that is a really good question. In 18 years, I will have to wrap up fairly soon. Let me answer that one. It's been 2 hours on YouTube. That's a pretty good time, actually. How has Japan changed since I first got here? I would say that, like, as a foreigner living in Japan, it was a lot harder 18 years ago because the support for English outside of really main, like central Tokyo, was less. English menus were less. Like, I mean, I can read Japanese menus, so it's fine, but I'm just saying, like, as a first-time foreigner living in Japan, it's a lot easier to live here now. There's a lot more restaurants that have food from our home countries. Like, San Diego, where I'm from, is full of Mexican food, and Mexican food was, like, non-existent when I came to Japan 18 years ago. But now there's tons of really good Mexican places in Tokyo, and there's even some in Saitama, and it's growing. And food, I was saying this earlier, but food, a lot of food I couldn't get. Now I can get it, like ingredients and things to cook with and food in general. And most times if there's a food you miss from home and you search online, like for Indian food, I loved masala dosa. I couldn't find it anywhere originally, but now there's like 3 places I know that have it. And even biryani with basmati rice and not Japanese rice, or biryani in general. It was a lot easier to find now. Steady Trousers, what's up? Hey, bud. How do you earn a living? That's a good question. Not Niinaka. That's fair. It's a good question. I used to be a principal of an international kindergarten, and at that time, and for many years, I was earning quite a good income doing those kind of things, and also having a side business. Now I'm a freelance worker, so my jobs include, primarily, I do live streams on Twitch, but while I'm doing that, I also do edited content on YouTube, a podcast. I do voice acting for anime in English for localization purposes, and I do, I pick up other projects here and there. Like, I've done editing work for other channels and stuff, like done a video as well. So pretty much just put that all together in a working lifestyle. It's very hard because it requires, as much as I love working on my own schedule and I love everything that I do, it's tough because I'm pretty much working every day. And I have to stop myself sometimes and be like, no, I try to make Sunday a day just about spending time with my wife and dogs, but I still have like to put up my weekly schedule and to prep stuff for the next week, charge my stream gear, look at posting some things, or, you know, sometimes I do have some voice work to do on Sundays. So like, I've been trying really hard to make one day a week where I can just like unravel. Since I didn't get that for a while, I kind of burned out a bit last week, but I'm back and doing well this week, and I think I'll be okay. And nothing changed since I've been here. That's funny. It's so funny for you, really, Dela. So you're saying that in the 18, or you've been here like 20 years more, right? Nothing's changed for you? Really? Nothing? You have a bullet train now. You didn't used to have a bullet train. At least that's changed. Has that changed anything? Has that brought more to Fukui, or is it just the same Fukui with now a bullet train access that you don't use anyways because you don't like the bullet train, right? GYG. It's okay. There's much better places, but it works. I didn't know it was an Australian store. I thought it was like from California or just a Japanese invention. I had no idea it was Aussie till Danny said so. Yeah, it's made travel more expensive. Really? Damn. I would say Puerto Rican restaurants in Japan, probably. And Brazilian restaurants. So if you search, you can find a lot of types of stuff, especially in places like Tokyo and Osaka. You'll find a lot more. That's my dog going crazy. Yeah. Shogo's probably taking a shower or something. He always barks when she opens the shower door. I don't know why. It's like that when she's finished the shower, and not when she goes in, when she goes out. I think he was sleeping, and then he hears that there's like they're folding doors in Japan quite often, and ours like folds in. It makes all the pressures release, and it's like, dong, and it just makes him bark. He's like, You've been here longer for a few years, really? I thought you came first. Oh, you know what? That was probably our friend whose name I don't usually say on Twitch, but you know who I'm talking about. Our short, angry Asian friend has been here longer. He came here before I did. So he's probably been here for... hold on, let's just make sure this is... Yeah, it's still staying in the... Whew. Question in YouTube. Let's go. Pro tips for someone who's coming to Japan for the first time. We're hiring a car and cruising around for 8 days. Well, for one, thank you for the follow. Rose, I appreciate that. On Twitch, thank you so much. I would say that, for one, if you want like in-depth and lots of info, I will recommend a friend of mine. His name is Ninja Monkey. His whole channel is about coming to Japan as a tourist and things to do and things not to do and things to know. He has a lot of shorts that also explain stuff. They're really helpful, but I'm happy to explain those things too. He comes as a tourist perspective. I come as someone who lives here. And I think having both perspectives is pretty handy. So anyways, I'll recommend him. But also, if you're driving, this isn't self-promotion, but a few people have said that watching my drive streams on Twitch has helped them because they look at how the road traffic things are and how I drive and the signs are, and it gave them a little bit of a thing. You don't have to watch me. You can watch people drive around on YouTube and stuff. But if you so wanted to, the benefit of doing that is you can ask me questions about the stuff you see. Like, what does that sign mean? What is this? What about me? Short, angry Asian, I'm here in Toronto, Luke. Not you, buddy, not you. Happy Pie, I'll get to your question in a second, too. The holy water coming out of the shower. Probably, Starkill, you're right. Yeah. It's done. Oh, that's true. It depends where you're coming from as well. But coming here first time, I would 100% recommend learning just a few keywords. They make your stay so much better if you just say things like arigatou gozaimasu, thank you very much, or sumimasen, sorry, or like hitotsu onegai shimasu. There's one. Just know how to say 2 or 3 even, because they have counters for everything. But if you use hitotsu, futatsu, mitsu, honestly, you can get away with using that to count anything. People will understand. You can also use your fingers, but a little bit of language goes a long way. So I'd recommend learning a couple words. I honestly should make a video of just like the pipe. Not, I'm not going to say that on YouTube, but not that one, beef teriyaki. Hey, oi. They took away the express train and went straight to Osaka. Now we have to use the Shinkansen for only about 30 minutes, then transfer the same express train, so it's made it more expensive. And you save no time. Damn, that sucks. The rest stops. Oh, that's a good one. I do have a video if you want to check out if you're driving. Again, self-promotion, but there are rest areas called Michi no Ekis, and I will read yours. Senpai no Japanese classes. That would be cool content. Oh, I'm not good enough to teach Japanese, but I just like to teach like the basic phrases. I can just put them up so you guys can learn them. I think that'd be good. I will get back to your question. Hold on one second. Onegaishimasu is a good one. Sumimasen is also really helpful. But there's places called Michi no Eki or road station. And those are places where they have parking lots open 24/7 and restrooms. Typically, almost always really nice, clean, heated seats, full stall, really good restrooms, open 24/7. So if you're going to sleep in your car, or you need to take a break, those are good places. Do you ever do anything gaming related on your stream? Yeah, I do gaming. I try to do gaming once a week, but I've been really busy lately, and I've got to build this model, this Gunpla. It's a damn figure. I got to build this like next week, so I probably won't be doing a game stream next week. but I do some gaming. I'm just not very good at game streams, unfortunately. It's hard for me to pay attention to chat and game at the same time, but I like doing them. And I'm getting better at them day by day, damn it. I got to keep practicing. So back to Happy Pie's question. About the past 18 years of changes in Japan, how has the work culture changed? I've seen many J-dramas and films where they take up the topic of equality, etc. Usually the culture changes happens to reflect in films of its time. Interesting. Yeah, are you talking about specifically Extremely Inappropriate? Because that show is really funny. And it's about a time travel. The guy goes from the 80s to like now, and his macho like sexism that was fine in the 80s does not work for him in the year 2025. And yeah, it's really interesting to see the cultural differences, because his attitude and his behavior is very much what was acceptable for men of his age at that time. That was a really good show. But to answer that question in more detail, the work culture itself, it's starting to change more towards it's called Extremely Inappropriate, the TV show. Thank you, Travel. Appreciate that. I'll get to Gunpla. Let's go. I will get to, it's also the Michi no Ekis, the road stations are good for local produce. I'll get to that question in a second, Ben. Hold on. Was I missed? Was the show called? Oh yeah. Did you get it? Extremely Inappropriate. Is that my IMDb page? Oh yes, that's mine. Your voice sounds like it'd be perfect when playing horror games. I will hopefully be voicing some characters in video games in the near future, but no word on that yet. But eventually, would like to be. Well, I have hints that I might possibly be involved in some of those projects. So if I am, that'd be really cool. I'd love that. Be Teriyaki the show. But yeah. Work culture is slowly changing. Some of it's for the better, some of it's for the worse. So they're starting to adapt more Western style, like better work-life balance. But at the same time, things that were great about the Japanese style, like stability of work life, constant increase in salary, guarantees of things, are changing as well. So used to be like you get one job, you work it for life, you get continual raises and bonuses, and so you're well taken care of. You take care of the company, they take care of you. But people are doing job switching a lot more these days, because in order to move forward in slower economies, you have to switch jobs to better positions, more like Western countries, or at least more like the US. So yeah, unfortunately that's sort of the situation. Yeah, check my next gaming stream. If you check my I don't play horror games really. I'm a wuss. I'm a total wuss. But if you check my Discord, I post my schedule. Like I said, every week I put a weekly schedule up in the weekly schedule and in general, and then I make little events with pictures and descriptions and times. And if you're in Japan, it's the same time as the weekly schedule. But if you're in other countries it'll convert to your time zone and your date. So it's really handy. I like that events thing. I hope more people use it. Right now, it's just generally about 15 or so people use that. But I would hope that more people could use that as a way to get like, just, you know, get like a little pop-up. I know I also post it everywhere, so people don't need to do it, but it makes me a little motivated. Like, yeah, people are actually waiting for this event, you know. Star Killer won't even make it past the pilot episode. Well, be Teriyaki the show. Yeah, probably not. Arriva, it's still technically horror, but the humor from that game balances it well. I think Deso might have played that. Sounds really familiar. Luke refuses to use the time zone and text feature in his schedule post. Well, you see, you know why? Because it already takes me so much time to put together a schedule, make it nice, put it on the Discord, and make the events. And what you guys are saying is, oh, thanks for doing all that. Can you also adjust each time thing so it's in our time zone? It's even more work. I'm trying to simplify. And if you follow the things, you don't need it. Go to the events, go like interested. You can always see it, get notifications. No, people always want more. They want more. They never let you be who you are. They all want you. If I did that, they'd be like, hey, you know what? You can make a Google calendar. Then we can add your Google calendar and it could be in my phone and stuff. But you know, it's always going to be more. It's always going to, sorry, I went off on that. Sorry. Bad Luke. Luke has had a rant. Let him relax for a second. Yes, the Discord event does change the time zone. So if you look at it and you tap that interested button, it does it for you. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I think since it's been about 2 hours on the YouTube side, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the YouTube video. I'm still on Twitch for a little bit more, a little longer. Who am I kidding? A lot longer. Oh, no, it's somewhat. Like an hour. We'll do like an hour more or something. Depends on if I want to play some games or just chill and chat. But anyways, so I will stop the YouTube video. This is also a good experience. If you are on the YouTube side and would like to continue on the Twitch side, come on over. If you are only a YouTube viewer, and that's totally fine, I'll see you. I'm going to try doing this tomorrow IRL. We're going to a Japanese garden in the rain. So it's a really beautiful garden. And we're also exploring some other areas, but I'll probably do like a short hour-long stream that's dual for the garden, and we can just like enjoy some sounds of rain in the garden. It probably won't rain because I've planned it for rain, and that's how it always works for me. I'm not gonna get another rant, so all good. Thanks, Lou. Chat. Remember to like this video stream. Oh, I appreciate that very much. Yeah. Don't forget that. I forget that we don't have likes and subscribes on Twitch, so like we don't have the like button, anyways. So yeah, I do like that. I have. Yes, I really want to get into that. I have so many rants about that. I'm actually going to make some videos about it. Can you rate the Twitch from YouTube? I cannot, but so if Ahmad can post a link to Twitch here, I will say goodbye and thank you very much, YouTube. Appreciate having this stream. You guys were awesome audience, honestly. Everybody was really patient, supportive. See you later, Dela. Appreciate you being here too. And from there, I will see anyone else. Like I said, I'll see you tomorrow on YouTube. And if you want to continue hanging out, the AMA and just casual chat will be over on Twitch. So let's see if this works. If I set up separately, I can actually do an ending screen, but I'm just not that, I'm not that hardcore. So here we go. Bye-bye.